the most powerful explosions in the universe, Swift has been working perfectly for 22 years. But by the end of 2026, atmospheric drag will make it re-enter our atmosphere and burn up, and there is no replacement mission. So NASA's done something wild. They've given a startup company called Catalyst Space Technologies $30 million and one mission: save Swift before June. Here's how they're going to do it. Step 1. Take a passenger airplane, an old L-1011 called Stargazer, and strap a rocket to its belly. Step 2. Fly that plane to 39,000 feet. Step 3. Drop the rocket in midair. Step 4. The Pegasus XL rocket, which by the way hasn't flown since 2021, fires its engines and blasts into space carrying a robotic spacecraft. Step 5, the robot approaches Swift, a telescope that was never designed to be grabbed, and uses 3 mechanical arms to capture it without damaging anything. Step 6, boost Swift's orbit back to 373 miles, giving it another 10 plus years of life. Missions like this normally take at least 24 months to plan and execute. Catalyst has 8 months from contract signing to launch. They're treating the June launch as firm because no delays are possible, no backup plans. Every day that passes, Swift drops lower. It's currently at 249 miles, and once its altitude drops below 185 miles, recovery will become impossible. 8 months to build the robot, test it, get a rocket that hasn't flown in 5 years ready, launch, rendezvous, capture, boost. The timeline is insane. And it gets weirder. Swift is in a 20.6 degree inclination orbit, almost impossible to reach from most US launch sites. That's why they need the airdrop Pegasus. It's literally the only rocket that can hit the orbit and meet the schedule. This is the first time ever that a commercial spacecraft will capture an uncrewed government satellite. NASA did this with Hubble, but those were astronauts. This is all robots. In 3 months, we find out if a startup can do in 8 months what normally takes at least 2 years. If they fail, we lose one of humanity's most important gamma ray observatories ever. June 2026, and the clock is ticking. Like and subscribe for more space videos like this one. I'm going to tell you about that time the Hubble Space Telescope accidentally caught something that astronomers have been trying to see for decades. And the odds of that happening are... Guys, I'm here. Welcome in. How's everybody doing? Oh, that's loud. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Let me turn the mic down. Wow. All right, I blew your ears off. Apologies. I'm just excited about Artemis. That's what it is. Overexcited. Overexcited. How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a good one. Artemis 2 tomorrow. 3:24 p.m. my time, 6:24 p.m. Artemis time. We're going to be live with Astro Canuck tomorrow. Astro Canuck is streaming from early, and I'm going to join Astro Canuck at noon my time. So I'll be on 3.5 hours roughly before the launch. 3.5 hours before the launch. So, yeah, that's the deal. That's the deal. It's going to be an awesome stream with Astro Canuck. I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to talk all about Artemis here. That's pretty much all we're going to talk about tonight is Artemis. And, yeah, it's going to be good. We can watch some NASA press conferences and talk about the deal. I made a YouTube video. If you didn't see the YouTube video yesterday, yeah, yesterday. If you didn't see the YouTube video yesterday, how do we know? Neil, thank you for the resub. 6 months of support. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Neil. I feel like that alert was delayed significantly, but see if you can find yourself up there, Neil. You're up there somewhere. Oh, the sky is getting crowded. It's harder to find people now. I'm looking. I'm trying to find you. Where are you? I don't think I'm gonna make it before the 20 seconds is up. How could I not? Oh, I didn't. It didn't. Hopefully you found yourself. Hopefully you found yourself.
Allegedly.
It's not my teamers. It's not my teamers. It's our teamers. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. Oh, Nina, thank you for the resub. Also, a 6 months at tier 1, a 21-month sub total. Oh my goodness. Oh, Nina, thank you so much for the support. You're up there as well. My eyesight isn't good enough. That looks really small on my screen. Does that look small for you guys, like on what you're watching? Like on my OBS screen, that's hard to see. That's hard to read, I'm not gonna lie. Thank you for the resubs, guys. I appreciate you. Ease of the 2-eye pie. Raiders, welcome in.
Raid incoming.
welcome in, Raiders. It is good to see you. How you doing? Eat to the 2 Pie, how was your stream? I haven't even... We literally just went live, like, not that long ago. You're on your phone, everything is small. That's what... Sure, okay, yeah. E to the 2 Pie, how you doing, guys? Make sure you're following E to the 2 Pie. You should be. If you're not, then what are you waiting for? He's got a doctorate in mathematics. And he's here on Twitch telling you all the math things, doing all the stuff. Supporting the science, a leading light of the knowledge fellowship. I mean, get over there. Get over there and support E to the 2 Pie. That's what you should be doing. Awesome streams. What were you doing today, E to the 2 Pie? Tell us all the things. Whilst you were doing that, I'm going to run real quick through and say hi to everybody. TMKDK, welcome in. Pyrakitties Tavern, welcome in. Good to see you. Big Gamey, Steph LRX. It is nice to see you. Always good to see you both. Trying to catch up here. Pyrakitties Tavern, welcome in. Guys, make sure you follow Pyrakitties Tavern. Another great streamer here on the platform. Captain Failure's here. 2E, welcome in. Good to see you. Old Nina. How you doing, Old Nina? Always nice. Doing great? Yes. Are you excited for tomorrow? Yeah, man. It's going to be so good. Neil, again, thank you for the resub. And on Nina. Artemis, exactly. Is it going to be orange? It won't be orange for long, but in theory, kind of tiny print. Yeah, we need to make that bigger, huh? It's a little hard to see. Artemis raid, nice. Easy to the 2 Pie. Welcome in. Welcome in again. Thank you for the raid. Backup Nui. Welcome in. Salut to you too. We did lots of DEs and made cool pictures about economics. Ooh, you can't beat a bit of a differential equation before dinner. I've always said that, right? I've always said that. I think I'm almost caught up. But yeah, back up. Welcome in. Good to see you. How you doing? Guys, make sure you're following E to the 2 Pie. If you are new here, I am Nerduino. Or Ian, whichever you prefer. I have a PhD in astronomy, and I worked at NASA for about 10 years. I worked at the Jet Propulsion Lab here in Pasadena, and now I stream on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays and make YouTube content. If you wouldn't mind going and checking out the YouTube channel, that would be amazing. There is the YouTube channel for you. It's been popping off a little bit recently. We've had a couple of, 20, 30, 40,000 view shorts, which has been a nice change of pace. Some of them are pretty controversial, or they're popular because of the controversy, I guess. But on this stream, we generally talk about space and astronomy, the latest papers and research. We look at amazing images from space. We talk about the latest missions. We're going to be live streaming Artemis tomorrow. We'll be watching the launch from noon Pacific, and we're doing a collab stream with Astro Canuck. So you can check out his stream. He's going to be live before me. We'll go check him out, and then we also have an observatory in the backyard where we can do live astrophotography, which we can't do tonight because it is cloudy. It's completely cloudy. It's been a kind of murky day here today in SoCal. We can't do that. Misadventures in Astro, thank you for the tier 1 resub. 34 months of support. Unbelievable. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. It was good to see you. And a hype train kicked off as well. 93% level 1, just like that. Boom. If we complete the level 2, I'll do another. We'll do one of our resistance, our rebellion patches. Both rebellion patches that were won before have been delivered. We'll do that as well. Eat it to Pie. If there's anything you want to share, you are very welcome to do that. If there's any links you want to post, any socials, all that good stuff. Shackle, welcome in. Good to see you. Yes, rocket ships, everyone. Hopefully, fingers crossed that it just goes off without hits tomorrow. The weather looks like about 80% good. 80% likelihood of a good window. They have a 2-hour window. So 3:24 to 5:24 my time, which I guess is 6:24 to 8:24 Eastern. And the reason they only have that small window is because they're trying to get to the moon. So they can only launch at certain points in time and connect to the right trajectory to go out that way. Yes, this high was 81 today, it's 57. Yeah, I know, Miss Adventures. It's nuts. I don't think it even hit the 57 here today. It's cold, man. I had the heating on. I had the air conditioning on 2 days ago. Now I have the heating on. About to ask when the launch window is. Yeah, it's a 2-hour launch window. Starts at 6:24 Eastern. And so far, everything looks good. Backup, can you have a rocket ship? We'll see what we can do. Maybe. They're a bit expensive. I mean, we could get you an Artemis for $20 billion. See, as usual, Mr. Ventures comes in. The private industry is doing it cheaper than what the government can. So I don't even know. But yeah, welcome in everybody. We will do our usual. So our usual here, for those of you that don't know, we generally start off the stream by looking at Astronomy Picture of the Day, and as you can see here, this this is APOD. Atoms. Yes. Possibly. Or maybe Euros, which... I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. Oh, guys, exciting news as well. I have really exciting news. I'm not going to break it until Thursday. I'm going to make you wait. But we have exciting news. You may notice that our Ko-fi total up there is at 71% of our goal, which I think is about $370, if I remember correctly. And it is possible. It's possible to see that I can actually get rid of that. Because, thanks to an anonymous chatter, we may have found everything we need. We may have found everything we need for right around that amount. We'll see on Thursday. I'll have a big announcement on Thursday. See whether that's true. But it'll be pretty exciting if we have. We can do the whole solar project. Do the whole solar project. On what we've raised. So that's amazing. It's so cool. I'm super excited. I think we have everything. We might have to buy a camera. I think we have to buy a different camera. But other than that, all of the optics and actually the 3D printed parts, maybe. We'll see. It'll be a complete scam. I could have just poured money down the drain. But we'll see on Thursday. It'll be the big reveal on Thursday. Guys, thank you for the hype train. Level 1 at 93%. Since you see, thank you for that follow as well. We'll see. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I'm lying. Maybe it's just an April Fool's joke. You know, could be. This is a moon of Uranus. Everybody say it with me. It's Titania. It's a pretty moon. I like it. I love this feature here. Like, giant. It just looks like it was...
In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
Stefan Orex, thank you for the 100 biddies, pushing us into the beginnings of level 2. Legends.
People are coming.
Orex, thank you so much. Oh my god, Sergeant Obol jumping in as well. Sergeant Obol, hey man, good to see you. 1,000 biddies.
That's
oh
not
my
how
goodness.
the Force works.
Thank you so much for the 1,000 biddies. I appreciate you. That's just... We just jetted up to more than halfway past level 2 of level 2. Unbelievable. How you doing, Sergeant Obol? It's good to see you. Thank you for the 1,000 biddies. Yeah, great to see you. Thanks for all the support, Sergeant Obol. Sergeant Obol, as you may notice from his emotes there, his badges, is a founder. A founder of the channel from 4 years ago. It's going to be our affiliate anniversary in April. In a couple of weeks, I think. In a couple of weeks. And yeah, Sergeant Obol has been here from the beginning. From before the beginning, actually. We knew each other from someone else, from a Warzone stream that we both used to watch. Which I don't even know. I don't even know what Moroni is up to these days. Probably went back to work, I'm guessing. I haven't seen him live. For the Big Bang. Oh. Flash ban. It's all funny until, you know. I'm actually not going to do that because I did that jokingly to BitGaming one time, and it took us about 6 months to undo. It took us about 6 months to undo all the damage that was done by timing BitGaming out for 10 seconds. And I'm not even joking. We fixed most of the things that were broken almost right away, and then it took us ages to figure out there were other little bits and pieces that had got broken along the way as well. So, as funny as it is, it takes a lot of undoing. Ooh, Stefan RX with the 89.66. You see, if you donate bits, your landings get better. That is I guarantee you, a complete coincidence. Okay, it's just a coincidence. Guys, if we get to, like I said, if we finish level 2, which is not that far away, 45%, we'll do one of these rebellion patches that are made right here at Nerd Headquarters. Yeah. Oh, come on. Here we go. They're iron-on. You can stick them to anything you want, or not, or just use them on your, All right, let's have a quick go. So we're going to go through Astronomy Picture of the Day. If you're new here, we start every stream with Astronomy Picture of the Day. And actually, we have some days to catch up on our calendar as well. Oh my god. I love this. I love the thing here. I don't love the fact that it doesn't let me show anything. Anyway, we have some science news from the calendar as well. Anyway, this is Titania. Titania's tortured terrain. Wait, why is it off? Oh, I guess it's fine. Tatum 44, how you doing? Good to see you. Guys, make sure you're following Tatum 44 as well, and make sure you come by tomorrow noon. We will be beginning coverage of the Artemis launch. So Project Hail Mary is so good. Yeah, it's great, right, Parakitties? Absolutely great. Had you read the book or listened to the book before you went? Doing well? Yeah, everything's good, Tatum. Everything's good. Dr. Nerd is slowly turning the corner on being sick, I think. Mini Nerd and I have been teetering, but we haven't gone down, so it's okay. We've managed.
That's one small step for man.
Mrs. Vice National, thank you for the gifted sub to Parakitties Tavern. Parakitties, enjoy. Enjoy. And the map's going to come up again. I'm going to have to adjust the font on the map. It is a little bit too small. It is a little bit too small. I mean, I can see it if I look hard, but I think we could definitely do it a bit bigger. Definitely do it. Thank you so much. And to Tatum 44. Oh my goodness. I trained level 2 complete. This adventures, thank you for the 2 gifted subs. Parakitties Tavern and Tatum 44, please enjoy. Can you make new subs have a larger font size? Well, they do have a different color. New subs are supposed to have the orange star is supposed to be the new subs. Yeah, see, Tatum star is orange up top left. So the new sub does get a different color star. That's how I did that. But I could make the text a different color as well. For some reason that doesn't always seem to work, but it did work for Tatum. So yeah. And then we just need to make the text a bit bigger, I think. But I kind of like it though. It's kind of cool, right? I mean, the whole thing's kind of fun. It was a semi-decent amount of work to make it work, but it is well worth it, I think. And level 2 completed, so that means a badge, a rebellion patch will be en route to somebody here in a minute. We'll run that after the hype train is done, and if we get to any more levels that we complete, I will do another patch as well, like a patch for each level. Okay, Titania's tortured terrain is a mix of canyons, cliffs, and craters. NASA's interplanetary robot spacecraft Voyager 2 passed the largest moon of Uranus in 1986 and took the feature picture. That the trenches of Titania resemble those on another moon of Uranus, Ariel, indicate that Titania underwent some violent surface event, possibly related to water freezing and expanding in its distant past. Although Titania is Uranus's largest moon, it is only about half the radius of Triton, the largest moon of Uranus's sister planet, Neptune. Jeez, this is getting complicated. I'm having trouble keeping this all straight. Which itself is... Oh, wait, it's even more complicated than that. Which itself is slightly smaller than Earth's moon. Titania, discovered by William Herschel in 1787, big shout out for William Herschel, is essentially a large dirty ice ball that is composed of about half water ice and half rock. There is recent speculation that radioactive heating melts some underground ice into oceans. Maybe. Maybe. Bit gamey with the Jebediah. Bit gamey with the Jebediah. Oh my god, we haven't played Kerbal Space Program in so long. We do have a Kerbal. You can't see it. Actually, if we go to the other scene. Go to this scene. You can see... Can you see Jebediah? He's back there by the Nerdwino sign. You can't really, can you? All right. Well, that was a big old bust. It's kind of a cool picture. It's a little. I was gonna say it's a little out of focus, but I mean it's a long way away. Here, I'll get Jebediah for you so you guys can see. Jebediah. Actual real Jebediah. This is, in fact, the living embodiment of Jebediah. Yeah, right here. This Adventure Astro very kindly sent this. I want to say 2 Christmases, or I don't. Oh, hey, we can put. No, there you guys can. It's 2. I don't know. Oh my god, you guys! When we were talking, so I also Pirate Kitties. I also went to see 2. Yeah. Focus. No, it's not ideally. It's not ideal. So I went to see, as you know, we went to see the Hail Mary Project Hail Mary on Saturday. I went with Mini Nerd. We went to a matinee during the day, and as opposed to a nighttime matinee. Anyway, and when I got back, I posted on the Discord, and I was like, "Yeah, it was great." Blah blah blah. And then people, like 2 people, posted thumbs down on the post. I was like, "Oh, what?" And then after about 30 seconds, I was like, "Oh." So I felt a bit silly at that point. I felt a bit silly. If you haven't seen the movie or read the book, then yeah, it's okay. No. Hey, you shouldn't apologize for that. That's on me. That is on me. 100% on me. Ariana Celestine, welcome in. Yes, you are being mooned right now. You're being titaniaed, is what I was trying to say. We were just talking about Project Hail Mary. Hey, Mini Notes here. Yes. Would you like to give us your review of Project Hail Mary?
Hi. Okay. No, it was a good movie. Hi, Dad.
Come to join the party.
No, it was a good movie. It was definitely long, and I felt like there were a lot of obstacles, but that made it very interesting. So I think it's definitely worth watching. Whether you can not have to go to the restroom in the middle of it is another thing. Lucky me, I didn't have to, because I have survived Dune without having to leave.
I was able to tell. I knew the story because I had read the book. So I knew when to time. Well, thank you for that review, Mini Nerd. I kind of knew when to time my... Hey, Darwin, oh, Darwin's gone. I just get the camera set up and Darwin's gone. I missed the base exploding, but I knew what I knew what I was gonna miss. I knew when I went, but I knew there was more exciting stuff coming, and I had to go, man. Oh, that was a long movie, and we drank too much Coke. We shared a Coke, and I think I drank too much. Guys, thank you for the level 2 hype train, and also make sure you're following the United Astronomy Clubs of New Jersey. The real celebrity. He is the real celebrity. I'll see if I can get him to come back. Appear to have contracted some UV radiation type situation. Yeah, I do. In this other scene here, it's not too bad. In that scene, in this scene, it's not good, you know? I'm a sucker for fleshed out alien creatures culture, so I'm in love with the Iridians. Yeah. It's better in... I feel like his character is better in the book. Like Rocky. Rocky is more fleshed out in the book. Oh, okay, come on then. I'll come on. You coming up or no? They coming. It was good. No, I thought it was very good. God Thrush, welcome in. Good to see you. You're using your photo dye as a reverse. Exactly, yeah. Someone needs to start another astronomy club and be a rebel and be like, nah, I'm not united with them. Dramagnify. The United Discordant, or the Discordant Astronomy Clubs in New Jersey. I mean, it doesn't seem like it would take much in New Jersey to... We taking PHM question? Sure. Astro Canuck, welcome in, guys. Make sure you're following Astro Canuck. Make sure you join us tomorrow for our collab stream, which will be at noon. Sorry. I will be joining Astro Canuck at noon. Astro Canuck will be live for plenty of time before that for the fueling and all the good stuff. So you can go over on his stream if you want to get in on the action before noon. I'll be on at noon Pacific. Yeah, noon Pacific. So about 3.5 hours before launch. Yeah, if you have any Project Hail Mary questions, we'd be happy to answer them. Because it turns out it wasn't just a fictional book; it was actually real, and people are very perturbed People are very perturbed about the lack of reality in the science, or some of the mistakes in the science. Compare everything in the book in the movie, it would have been way longer. X bombing the Earth. Yeah, for sure. Steph LRX, absolutely, yeah, for sure. I wasn't complaining. I was just saying that if you like Rocky, I think you'll like him even better in the book. Yeah, I know that's true, Pyrokittes, and that the astrophage really blew up nicely as well. I didn't know it was that explosive, you know? Scientific inaccuracies in sci-fi. I know. I was saying to Astro Canuck earlier, like, there was this thing the other day I started to watch and then I realized what I was doing. They were like, well, there's no way that bacteria could absorb that much energy from the sun. I was like, yes, because it's not bacteria, it's a plot device. What the hell? What the hell are you talking about? Like, I don't know. Some people get a bit carried away, I think. What were we gonna do? Oh yeah, I should actually hear what I need to do. Let me add my image source here, and let's do this. Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna add it so that I can bring this up when we want to talk about. All right, Astro Canuck very kindly made this fantastic little piece of. Look at that! Look at those fine figures of streamers. This is our launch party tomorrow. But like I said, make sure you join. Astro Canuck is going to be on much earlier than me. He's starting. Is that to scale? Yes, we are very large. We're actually titans, Mr. Venture Astro. Everything that you see here, this is why I had to go with the green screen effect, because I am not able to normally fit in a normal size house. Like, my house is huge. So, you know, we are both rocket sized. Yeah, Astro Canuck is very, very talented. I always forget which one, but the literally only consistent thing in that movie is doing backflips or wearing sunglasses. Make you immune to bullets. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Those movies are so good because they're just so stupid. The Resident Evil movies, and Mila Jovovich is amazing, as that helps. If people wanted to pick apart the plot with an expert, they talk to a literary PhD. Exactly, Nick Baring. Yeah, exactly. Ooh, Astro Canuck with the 58.96. Guys, get your drops in. If you drop for 99 or more, your wife loves Resident Evil. I have a thing for Resident Evil. I don't know what it is. It might just be Mila, honestly. Okay, we are gonna do this one. This is Peculiar Elliptical Galaxy Centaurus A, or Cen A, as the cool kids call it. What's happened to the center of this galaxy? Dramatic dust lanes run across the center of unusual elliptical galaxy Centaurus A. These dust lanes are so thick they almost completely obscure the galaxy's center in visible light. This is particularly unusual as Cen A's older stars and oval shape are characteristic of a giant elliptical galaxy. Galaxy type typically low in dark dust. Pictured in this deep image is a complex network of foreground gas and dust, which is all this stuff around here that you can see, as well as shells of dim stars and a jet projecting to the upper right. That structure there, I would think. Also known as NGC 5128, Cen A is surely, don't call me Shirley, the result of a galactic collision where many young dust-creating stars were formed. However, details of the creation of Cen A's unusually active center and iconic central dust lanes are still being researched. Cen A lies only, the word only does not belong in this sentence. The graphic is still there because I'm a pro streamer. That's why. Here you go. All right, there you go. There you go. All right, is everybody happy now? Sorry, guys. I mean, you know, semi-pro streamer. Drop 99.7 worth a shot. It could work. Here, I haven't had a drop for a while. I'm going to drop. Let me find the right emote. The crucial thing for dropping is to drop with the right emote. This is the right emote, I'm pretty sure, for today. Guys, make sure you go check out Irish John Games and his new game. It's in early release, Rise of Piracy. If you don't know Irish John, you should. Not only a great game dev, but a great streamer too. Twitch partner. Go on, get in there. Oof. Okay. And yeah, go check out the game on Steam. You can find it at this link here. Here we go. Yeah, you can find out that link there. Go check it out for all of your pirate gaming needs. You know? Okay, let's see. I was going to say, oh yeah, this galaxy. So it's only 13 million light years away, making it the closest active galaxy. It's a nice image. Very nice. Ooh, SADR Observatory Team. Look at these. Look at this galaxy down here. Can you guys see this? There's all kinds of galaxies. Look at that. Like some kind of spiral galaxy there, I think. What a weird. Kind of weird. Oh. You see how this galaxy, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but this galaxy's kind of got like a gas halo around it. Kind of unusual, to say the least. I know, but these are all galaxies as well. Look, there's like two small ones over here, just there, and bunch here. These are all. There's a ton of galaxies in this image. It is a beautiful picture. Yeah, that's a fact. I read a book and made a pretty good argument that global warming is tied to the number of pirates, so it's probably best for the environment if we all become pirates. Wait, is it inversely or positively correlated, though? Do we all need to become pirates, or do we all need to become the opposite of pirates? What is the opposite of pirates? Anti-pirates? If pirates and anti-pirates collide, do you end up with nothing? Like matter and antimatter? Is it barred? Yeah, it's hard to tell. Maybe, yeah, maybe. I don't think so. I don't know. Yeah, it's too small to tell. I'd be interested to know which galaxy that is, though. It's funky for sure. All needs to become pirates. Okay. Philanthropy. It was the Flying Spaghetti Monster book. Well, if it's in the Flying Spaghetti Monster book, I would say that is pretty much, that's as good as it gets right there. Trying to fix it. I'm trying to fix it so that my camera, so that I don't keep banging my head on the top of the screen, you know. There you go. That's better. Now it doesn't cut me off at the straight line at the top. Alrighty. Literally impossible to argue. Yeah, I mean, literally. What the hole? Something oil tankers might be true. The feud enemy of the pirate is the taurate. Okay. I did not know that. See, you learn something new every day. You learn something new every day. This is taken... SADR Observatory. I'm not familiar with... Oh, I'm not on Facebook either. High Tau feud. Always the worst. That's... Here we go. Sadder Astro. Possibly working. Like a remote thing. I like the math jokes here. We're making good math jokes here. Let's get a dad joke. Get a dad joke to go with all the dad math jokes. People who don't eat gluten are really going against the grain. True. Oh, this isn't working. That's a shame. I kind of wanted to know. But okay. All right. We shall not know. Right, we better keep going because we got some ground to cover. What? Oh, I remember this. Huh. I'm not sure I would call this. Well, I guess it's fine. As I suspected, someone has been adding soil to my garden. The plot thickens. Yoga Garrel is here. Yoga Garrel, how you doing, guys? Make sure you're following Yoga Garrel. Another great streamer here on the platform. Does Lego, plays retro games, and goes on hikes and goes birding. Live on stream. You can watch her hiking and checking out all the different birdies. It's awesome. And also, someone that we get to hang out with at TwitchCon each year for the last, I forget now, 4 years, I think. 4 years. I'm going to say 4 years. I think it was San Diego, Vegas, San Diego, San Diego. That's my recollection. I could be wrong. Here's what I was told at work today. What do you wait, what? What do you call a cow on the North Pole? Boss. I went to a psychic who told me my future was to die happy, so I got a job in customer service to live forever. Coconut, welcome in. How you doing? 4 years, yeah. Well, 4 TwitchCons. It's been more, yeah, I guess it's probably been more than 4 years. Good to see you, though. Okay, I did say I would do a giveaway, so let's do the giveaway. Where is our giveaway widget? Do I not have the giveaway widget? I might not have the giveaway widget in this one. Hold on. Got any Windows now? Is the giveaway widget in this one? Yes, it is. Okay. We're going to do the giveaway. So we just finished a level 2 hype train. So I'm going to do a giveaway for this Rebellion patch. You got 5 minutes, and I will mail it anywhere in the world. You will just have to send me an address. Give start patch 5M. I think that should do it. I usually get it wrong. Exclamation point join if you would like a chance to win a patch. I can tell you that there are only 3 of these in the wild currently. There is one in Minnesota, and then there is one. Then Entropic Universe has one, and Uncle Bill has one. Those are the only 2 people that have these. And yeah, just give me an address and I'll mail it over to you. All right, let's see what this is. I mean, I know what it is, but let's read the explanation. What are these Earthlings trying to tell us? The featured message was broadcast from Earth towards the globular cluster M13 in 1974. As you can see, we have improved our drawings quite a lot since 1974. We've improved our drawings a lot. So if you if you're worried about the kind of drawings that we sent to space in 1974, you know who can tell you about all that stuff is Casey Snowart. So if you go follow Casey Snowart, you'll be able to see how much better our drawings are now than they were. The Nerdlander, exactly. The featured message was, well, I said that already. During the dedication of an upgrade to the Arecibo Observatory, then the largest single radio telescope in the world, RIP Arecibo, a string of ones and zeros representing the diagram was sent. This attempt at extraterrestrial communication was mostly ceremonial. Humanity regularly broadcasts radio and television signals out into space accidentally. Even were this message received, M13 is so far away, we would have to wait 50,000 years to hear an answer. I mean, the featured message gives a few simple facts about humanity and its knowledge. In other words, Jack. From left to right are numbers from 1 to 10, atoms including hydrogen and carbon, some interesting molecules, DNA, a human with description basics of our solar system, and basics of the sending telescope. That's Arecibo. You know, several searches for extraterrestrial intelligence are currently underway. For a second, you thought the purple thing was Rocky. I mean, it does look a bit like Rocky. They could easily get confused about which system this message was coming from. There can be only one. It is true, Dramagnify. There can be only one. Oh, guys, also, we have to... if you're in the book club, we need to pick a date. So I posted in the Discord. Nick Baring's in charge. We should pick a date towards the end of April to do it. And I just want to point out, I just want to say that I've actually finished my book. I'm quite pleased with myself. I read a book. And it was a very good book. Dr. Nerd chose an excellent book for me. If you would like to join the book club, all you have to do is read a book about disasters. Any kind of disaster. It could be space-related, not space-related. Mine is completely not space-related. It could be any disaster. Human kind of disaster. You just read the book, and then at the book club, we are going to get together and chat about. Each person will do a little report on their book, and we'll learn about them, and maybe we'll all discover some new books that we want to. Perfect time to get someone to read your autobiography. That's That's funny. I will say, the poor aliens are going to be mega confused. They're going to see this and be like, "What the hell happened to this game?" What was I going to say? Oh, I got my book. So Dr. Nerd found the book for me. The title, like the book. She's like, you want it? I'm not giving away, but the disaster that I wanted to study, I told her what it was, and she found the book. She's like, this one seems good. Like, okay. And I found it in the library. The LA County Library had it, and I could borrow the ebook. So I didn't even cost me anything. I just borrowed the book from the library, supported the LA County Library, and that's it. I'm done, and I'm all done. I've done my homework. I'm ready to report. Guys, you have got... Wait, why is the giveaway not counting down? Because I'm an idiot. That's why. I'm pretty sure it's not counting down because it's... Give start. I'm gonna do 2M patch. I think I got the... fudgesicles. Oh my god, I can't type either. Give start patch. And, actually, wait a second. Let me look this up because I don't think that's actually what I want to do. It's... If I do that, I think it's going to start a whole new... I think I typed the name and the time in the wrong order. That was the problem. Type the name and the time in the wrong order, but I think I can. I think I can save it. Let's see. Okay. Okay, it's give time. So I need to do give time 1M. There you go. That should do it. There you go. All right, you got a minute. If you want a chance to win one of these patches, right now you've got a 25% chance of winning a Rebellion patch. They are iron-on. You can iron them onto whatever you want, or you can just use them for whatever, you know. They are made here. I have some other patches in mind. I already have a design. I've been working on the embroidery design. I might try and sew it out tomorrow, and I might give those away for Artemis. They're not Artemis patches, but they're pretty cool. If I lived on the other side of the street, I've been in the other commissioner's district, which I didn't know was different from the voting district. Oh my god, it's so confusing. It's so confusing. Guys, 20 seconds, exclamation point join if you want in. So far, Pyro-Kitties Tavern, Tatum 44, 2E, and Steffel RX are in. Those are the only 4 people. One of them is about to win a patch. Oh, Dramignify has jumped in. Dramignify has jumped in. Now your chances are 1 in 5 with 5 seconds to go. Gonna be... What's it gonna be? Here we go. It is... Oh my goodness, I thought it was going to be Dramignify. It just flipped over at the last second. It is 2E. LY Links, you were just a fraction too late there to get in. Exclamation point win in chat, Dramignify. If you type exclamation point win, then it will officially make you the winner. It doesn't actually matter because you're the winner anyway. Yeah. It's not Dramignify. I meant 2E. Oh my god. Exclamation point win 2E in chat, and then you'll be good. There you go. Hey, you won patch 5M. I never typed that thing correctly. Okay. Congrats. Yeah, so if you 2E, if you just send me an address where you'd like it sent, it doesn't matter. It could be work or a PO box or whatever you want. I will get that in the mail to you. My chances would have been pretty good. They ended up disappointing. I mean, you were super close. You were super close. It literally paused on your name at the end for a very, very long second. A very long second, and then it just tipped over at the last minute. It just tipped over at the last minute. All right, let's they're going. Oh, the city commission. I got you. There's too many conversations going on at once here. Getting all confused. Oh, look, it's Goddard. Robert H. Goddard, considered the father of modern rocketry, was born in Worcester, Massachusetts in 1882. As a 16-year-old, it would have been 1898, Goddard read H.G. Wells' science fiction classic War of the Worlds and dreamed of spaceflight. By 1926, he had designed, built, and flown the world's first liquid-fuel rocket. Launched 100 years ago on March the 16th, 1926, from his Aunt Effie's farm in Auburn, Massachusetts, the rocket, dubbed Nell, rose to an altitude of, wait for it, 41 feet, in a flight that lasted about 2.5 seconds. In this posed photo, Goddard stands next to the 10-foot-tall rocket. Lost my place. Holding the launch stand frame to achieve a stable flight without the need for fins. The rocket's heavy motor was located at the top, fed by lines from liquid oxygen and gasoline fuel tanks at the bottom. Widely recognized as a gifted experimenter and engineering genius, his rockets were many years ahead of their time. Goddard was awarded over 200 patents in rocket technology, most of them after his death in 1945. A liquid fuel rocket constructed on principles developed by Goddard landed humans on the moon in 1969, and is pretty much the same thing that we're going to do tomorrow to send more people towards the moon. Not landing. If you're not familiar with Artemis 2, we won't be landing on the moon with Artemis 2. We'll be orbiting the moon. We'll be going around the moon and getting some information on the dark side of the moon to bring back to Pink Floyd, and then coming home. 2028 Artemis. Well, at this point, I think it's going to be Artemis 4 because I think they've stuck a middle Artemis mission. Artemis 4 is going to be one to boots on the moon. Okay. It's crazy though, no? Ooh. Leo. This is the last one. I think will we be able to finish this? Yeah, we looked at that before. Great. This is the last APOD. How long have we got? Oh, 12 minutes. We're perfectly fine. Scanning the skies for galaxies, Canadian astronomer Paul Hickson and colleagues identified some 100 compact groups of galaxies, now appropriately called Hickson compact groups. The 4 prominent galaxies seen in this intriguing... Oh yeah, I guess those other 2 things are stars. The 4 prominent galaxies seen in this intriguing telescopic skyscape are one such group, Hickson 44. Hickson 44 galaxy group is about 100 million light years distance, far beyond the foreground Milky Way stars, toward the northern springtime constellation of Leo. The 2 spiral... Here, can I make this bigger, maybe? There we go. Towards the northern springtime constellation of Leo. The 2 spiral galaxies in the center, that's this one and... Well, I would say this one and this one are spirals. Are we calling that a spiral? All right, anyway, edge on, NGC 3190 with distinctive warp dust lanes and S-shaped NGC 3187. Yeah, they are calling that a spiral. Along with the bright elliptical NGC 3193, which is this thing here. They are known as ARP 316. The spiral towards the lower right corner is NGC 3185, the 4th member of the Hickson group. Like other galaxies in Hickson groups, these show signs of distortion and enhanced star formation, evidence of a gravitational tug of war that will eventually result in galaxy mergers on a cosmic timescale. The merger process is now understood to be a normal part of the evolution of galaxies, including our own Milky Way. For scale, NGC 3190 is about 75,000 light years across at the estimated distance of Hickson 44. There you go. Okay. That's it. We got through it. Let's do Rocket Launch Live real quick. As you can see, we got live views of... button there. We got live views of Artemis 2 on the pad. 20 hours, 36 minutes, 55 seconds left. Also, today was supposed to launch Soyuz 2. I don't know if that did launch or not. The classified payload. Let's refresh and see. Don't know. Doesn't say. Tomorrow is SLS, then a Falcon 9 on Thursday. Another Falcon 9 on Thursday from Vandenberg, no less, at 4:03 p.m. And then a Chinese launch, a Russian launch, an Atlas 5 on the 3rd of April, which should be pretty good. It's for Amazon. I presume this is their Amazon Leo. I'm guessing is their internet satellite constellation. So yeah. Ooh, April the 6th. What day is that? Monday. Rats. There's actually finally a launch in the evening, which would be a good one. This one, 7:39, is probably a good time of night. What time is it now? I think this will actually be a good chance for a jellyfish one. Okay, let's see. How long have we got left? We should have a bit of time. Yeah, we got 5 minutes. Okay, in the 5 minutes, we're going to go through our calendar. So this is a calendar that I got at the beginning of the year from Dr. Nerd, and it has famous scientific events, scientific discoveries from this date, but in history. So Friday, March the 27th, 2019, the nature of Mars's rivers announced. Geophysicists from the University of Chicago announced their research into the nature of Mars's ancient rivers, indicating that said rivers were at one point in the planet's history much larger than Earth's rivers, and that they crisscrossed the red planet at hundreds of points along its surface. Here, actually, we might as well put this on the background, right? Pretty cool. I actually remember that announcement. Okay, Saturday, March the 28th, 2013. Experts successfully carbon date the Shroud of Turin. Giulio Fanti, an expert in mechanical and thermal measurement from the University of Padua in Italy, completed his analysis of the Shroud of Turin, a Holy Christian relic long cloaked in controversy. Equipped with cutting-edge technology, Fanti's findings firmly dated the relic to between 300 BC and 400 AD, refuting claims that the shroud was a forgery from the medieval era. Yeah, right, Aldina, it looks good, doesn't it? So, fucking Lethal, how you doing? I'm still teetering. I'm not going to lie, I'm still teetering, but I'm powering through. But thank you, though. How you doing, so fucking Lethal? It's nice to see you. Sunday, March the 29th, 2019. Ancient Maya farms rediscovered in wetlands. Archaeologists from the University of Cincinnati announced their success in utilizing cutting-edge technologies to track down traces of ancient Maya farmlands thought lost to time. A mixture of satellite imagery taken from NASA and a technology known as light detection and ranging, or LiDAR, allowed the team to pierce through centuries of overgrowth and dense topography to locate potential areas. Kind of cool. Monday, March the 30th, millennia-old onion mixture treats modern superbug. Oh, geez, here we go. 2015, millennia-old onion mixture treats modern superbug. Anglo-Saxon experts from the University of Nottingham in England translated a 1,000-year-old formula for an eye salve made primarily from onions, garlic, and cow bile. Cow bile. When scientists applied this homebrewed mixture to large cultures of methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, or MRSA, a highly antibiotic-resistant superbug that has proven extremely concerning for pharmacologists in recent years, not to mention the people with MRSA, the salve effectively killed more than 90% of the cultures, a feat unmatched by modern treatments. Well, there you go. That's actually pretty cool. Yes, cow bile, LOL links. Obviously, that's what's in everybody's medicines. Yuck. I tell you what, yes, yuck, but at the same time, if you have MRSA and this treats it, you're probably taking the cow bile, I'm guessing. Or rubbing the cow bile on. CMA, how you doing? Good to see you. We have got 2 minutes until the ads, guys. And we're done. We got one more science. We got Tuesday, March the 31st. Can you believe it's April 1st tomorrow? April 1st. Oh, my goodness. Is it Easter this week? It's Easter this weekend, right? The 31st, 2004. NASA's scramjet test flight successful. Engineers from NASA's Dryden Flight Research Center reported that their test flight of the X-43A hypersonic research aircraft was a massive success, producing a wealth of data on the supersonic combustion ramjet, or scramjet, engine system. Scramjet is a type of engine that uses environmental oxygen to fuel combustion and subsequent thrust, removing the need for onboard oxygen tanks, which weigh aircraft down considerably. In addition to providing much-needed information on scramjet performance and operation, the X-43A flight reached Mach 7, more than 5,000 miles per hour, breaking previous speed records set by other oxygen-based engines. There you go. There's your science news as well. We got through it all in an hour. It's a Christmas miracle. That's what it is. Miracle. What bit of the cow is used to make cheese? The stomach. declining. Easter this weekend. I need to make homemade mac and cheese and get some fruit to cut up. Wait, what? Like right now or for Easter? Am I missing something? I'm probably missing something there, I think. For Easter. Okay. Sorry. I was confused. Sounds delicious. Not doing that at 10 p.m. I mean, I don't know. There's some people on Twitch with some weird schedules, you know? Oh, the ads are here. Clock is wrong. The ads are here. Guys, we're going to BRB. B to the R to the B. Hold on. Yeah. We have awesome new images of our newest interstellar visitor comet, 3I Atlas. Comet Atlas rounded the sun recently and is now making its way out of the solar system. Due to its orbit, we can still look forward to its closest approach to Earth on December the 19th, and there are opportunities for citizen scientist observations of the comet on that date. I'll put a link in the description to that project. After the comet recently emerged from behind the sun, from the perspective of observers on Earth, scientists at the Gemini North Observatory on Mauna Kea in Hawaii were able to capture new images of 3I Atlas, only the third interstellar visitor to our solar system to be recorded. In the image, you can see the background stars form a colorful trail of dots as the telescope remains focused on the comet, taking images with red, blue, green, and orange filters. The comet is much closer to us than the background stars, so we keep the comet fixed. The background stars appear to move, exactly the same thing you see when the moon is moving across the sky each night. The images show some interesting changes in the appearance of the comet. As the comet gets closer to the sun and receives the maximum heating that it will experience in our solar system, we do expect to see changes in the gases and elements that are being released. Sometimes there can even be a delay between when this maximum heating occurs and when we observe the biggest changes, because it can take time for the heat to affect the deeper parts of the comet. Previous images from the Gemini South Observatory had shown a red hue to the comet, using the same color filters as we used here. Now the comet appears to have a faint green glow. That heating that we talked about earlier is releasing different compounds from the comet, and we're seeing diatomic carbon, or C2, emitting light at green wavelengths. This is a super cool image, and given how unpredictable comets can be after being heated by the sun, it'll be interesting to see how 3I Atlas continues to change as it journeys out of our solar system. Hope you enjoyed that quick 3I Atlas update. This is my 499th YouTube video on the channel. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Check back on Monday for number 500. Wednesday at 6:24 p.m. EDT, 4 astronauts will launch towards the moon for the first time in 52 years. And we need to talk about whether this $93 billion mission is worth it, or if we're making a colossal mistake. Here are the highlights. Wednesday evening, Reed Wiseman, Christina Cook, Victor Glover, and Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen will climb into the Orion capsule, strap in, and light the most powerful operational rocket in the world. 9 million pounds of thrust, 10 days circling the moon, no landing. This is a dress rehearsal for a potential landing in 2028. Glover becomes the first person of color to leave low Earth orbit, Cook the first woman, Hansen the first non-American. So why go back? We already did this 50 years ago. Well, this time we're not planting flags and leaving, we're starting the process of building a base. The Artemis program isn't about footprints, it's about staying. NASA's plan, a permanent lunar base at the South Pole, mine water ice, test life support systems, practice surviving on another celestial body before we attempt a 7-month journey to Mars. And there's another reason this matters to NASA. China plans to land taikonauts on the moon by 2030, and NASA wants to beat them to it. This is a new space race. Here's the downside. This program has cost $93 billion so far. Each launch costs around $4 billion. The cost of the rocket went from $5 billion to $20 billion, and we're launching it 10 years behind schedule. For that $93 billion, we could have funded the entire James Webb Space Telescope 9 times, ended world hunger for 2 years, given free community college to 6 million students, or funded 93,000 new schools in underdeserved areas. I'm muted. Hello. I wasn't saying anything anyway. I was trying to figure out the camera. Hello. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking out for the ads. Apologies. You know how it is. I no longer have a weird night shift or variable shift schedule. Ooh, that's nice. Congrats, Arian Celsi. Trying to have a more normal shift, but I do not feel as productive. I mean, if you sleep, you're not going to get as much done, but you probably won't die at like 50. Sleep is important, you know. I went and persuaded the appropriate documents to double check. Technically, if you have your own club, there is technically no reason your club can't join UACNJ as long as it fits some criteria. Oh, there you go. What about if we don't have our own club, though? There's a lot of traffic here. There's a lot of people driving backwards and forwards. Does that seriously say Freedom 250 on the side of that building? Crushing the rebellion and making everyone join. Alright, sorry about the mutation. No, I like to do it. I might stream for 20.5 hours. TMKDK. Here's the deal. I can make my own club. There's nothing stopping you from making that a thing. Ooh, I could have the Nerdwino Astronomy Club. Nerdstronomy of Earth. There's nothing stopping me except time. I think is what you meant. No, TMKDK. I will be streaming for approximately another 1 to 2 hours, and then I'll be back at noon. Oh, hold on 1 sec. Let me make sure Darwin's gonna get that. Okay, he's getting his meds. Astronomy Earth Division. There you go. The official Twitch Astronomy Association. TM. I think Twitch is already TM. I don't think you can. That makes it TM squared. I don't think TM squared works. Tomorrow, Mr. Proxter. Yes, they are. Tomorrow in 20 hours, which you can't see because I'm in the way. Here, we can go to our other scene and you'll be able to see it probably. There you go. 20 hours, 23 minutes, and 21 seconds from now. And, Mr. Proxter, we will be live tomorrow at noon. We'll be live with Astro Canuck. And Astro Canuck is going to be live before that as well. Much earlier than that. He's going to be live, I think, from the start of Fueling. I think he's actually going to be live in like 5 minutes for the whole. But we'll be collabing starting at noon Pacific. So collab will start about 3.5 hours before launch. We'll be chit-chatting about all kinds of stuff. Who knows? And yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. I forgot to completely. Thingamabog McJiggy, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. The Nerdwino sign has been dropped a little bit off the. Okay, that's better. All right. Twitch Observatory Man. But each of us on the TV. Nice. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Oh, weather permitting. It should be. I mean, the weather looks good. We'll see how fueling goes. So there were issues last time once they started fueling. That's when you really find out, right? That's when the valve issues surface, and that's when things start to go. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But fingers crossed, everything's going to be good. The weather looks decent. Weather looks decent for the week. There's like 80% tomorrow, 60% I think on Thursday, 80% again on Friday, something like that. But the weather's decent. Everything seems to be lining up, and hopefully we'll get this. Hopefully we'll get this thing off the ground. That would be amazing. Amazing. Okay. All right. Let's have what I was going to suggest is that we go here. Wait. What the hell? There was a press conference. I had the press conference on the screen here. Oh wait, no, maybe it was here. There was a 60-minute press conference today. Where is it now? Yeah. My God. One of the guys on console for Round Couch is on Blue Sky and sending out info. Nice. So cool. Event. Oh, how do I find the press conferences easily, guys? Plus. I know for a fact there was a press conference today at an hour. Everyone gets the names on the SD card. Yeah. Let me see if I can find it on the YouTube. Uh, 1 day ago. Yeah, this is the one I was looking for. Okay, this is the one I was actually trying. All right, sorry about that, guys. Madison, welcome in. Good to see you. Yeah, I have my name on the SD, or yeah, I'm pretty sure. What other missions on the launch TMR? Is that a flyby to the moon? Yeah, yeah. It's the human moon flyby. So it's basically like Artemis 1, but with people on board. Similar, not the same, but similar. Yeah. So let's. All right. Great to see you, Madster. Really good to see you. Are you looking forward to the launch tomorrow? We're all pretty hyped in Ha. Whoa, what happened? Guess what has happened to my camera now? It's wait. Oh, press. I'm gonna shut up now, and you can just. I'm gonna fix that. I know you can't hear it. I'm gonna fix that as well. Fret not. Student I tutored mathematics is going to throw up paper title read as a techno signature of humanity. How do you feel about that, Tui? I'm curious how that makes you feel. Is there pride? Is there resignation? I mean, what's the overwhelming like? Launching soon. True.
Good afternoon. You're looking at a picture of the Artemis II crew. It was taken yesterday at Launch Pad 39B with the SLS rocket and Orion spacecraft. Our first launch attempt for the Artemis II mission is tomorrow, April 1st. The 2-hour launch window opens at 6:24 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome. I'm Antonia Jaramillo, and this is the pre-launch news conference for the Artemis II mission. Joining us today to speak about the launch countdown is Jeff Spalding, Senior NASA Tester.
That's good, Tui. Glad to hear that.
Good afternoon.
And Mark Berger, our 45th Launch Weather Officer with the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station.
Thank you.
They're going to provide some brief opening remarks, and afterwards we're going to take some questions from media here in the room as well as online. For those joining us over the phone, you can press *1 to ask your question. So without further ado, we'll kick it off with you, Jeff.
Thank you. All right, and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome, and thanks for joining us today. We are a little over 29 hours from our opening of the launch window tomorrow, and I am very excited myself, and just coming from the firing room just a little bit ago on my way over here, talked to a bunch of members of the team, and I'll say Normally when we're in the firing room working over there, folks have got their heads down and they're working and they doing all the business that we do of the space business, but I'll say there was a lot of smiles today. So felt really good about that. As the team is preparing, I think everybody's pretty excited and understands the significance of this launch. We did talk to the flight crew last night. We had a briefing with them. We had another one just a little bit before I went down to the firing room. We had another briefing with them. Last night was just to kind of go over the day of launch routine with them and kind of a refresher for ourselves and for them, and that went really well. They were in great spirits. And then we had another briefing today just to talk about how the launch countdown was going, and as we'll talk here in a little bit, it's been going really well. Let's see, since Charlie spoke to you yesterday, we've got quite a bit of work done. We started out yesterday, the first thing we do usually is fill up the sound suppression systems with water. And when we start working on getting the liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen systems ready for our propellant loading that's coming up in the future. We did power up all of the vehicles. We powered up the Orion core stage as well as the ICPS yesterday. We did communication checks, RF checkouts on the systems, and then after that we got through all of that work. Then we went ahead and powered down the ICPS because there was no more work for them until later tonight when we power ICPS back up. But of course, core stage and Orion stay powered up through the remainder account. Today we got launch pad ground system configurations in work. We're doing closeouts in a number of areas. We're doing walkdowns as we work through the pad to make sure everything is configured for launch. We're also in work on the late stow right now. We should be getting the Avatar and the bags that we're doing in the late stow going up. They were prepping them in the PTCR down in below the pad terminal changeout room, which is the area beneath the pad where we have some rooms, and getting those ready to go up, and they should be being installed as we speak. And then let's see, tonight we're going to be doing a whole lot of other work as we get ready to clear the pad. We do have some work associated with the Orion ground equipment and systems that we use to do the leak checks on the crew suits. And so we'll be working those later tonight to configure those and check them out and make sure they're ready for when we hook up to the crew on launch day. We'll be powering up some of the Orion guidance systems later tonight as well. We do intend to clear personnel from the pad at about 3 in the morning at that point. And then we'll get ready for our air-to-GN to
That would be
change
cool
over
too,
at about
KDK.
4
That's
in the
actually a really good
morning.
idea.
We do that. We purge the vehicle with air routinely for the whole flow. Once we get to this point where we're getting ready to add hazardous propellants like hydrogen, for example, we change over to GN2 to have an inert environment for safety purposes on the vehicle and all of the volumes that are on there. Let's see, later, once we get through the air to GN2 changeover and all the other work is done, our launch director will have a final weather brief, and once we get out of that, she'll signal the team that we are ready to start our propellant loading, and that's scheduled to occur at about 7:34 tomorrow morning. That loading takes a little over 5.5 hours. We'll work through that. As mentioned yesterday by the launch director, we have inserted some time in front of that propellant loading time frame, so that if we are in fact done with all of the work and are ready to go and we can start a little bit early, like a few minutes, we will try to take that and take every bit of time that we can to get ready and prepared for the crew and be prepared for anything else that might happen. So we did that purposefully to give ourselves a little bit of room in that time frame based on the launch director's guidance.
Hey, Mazzaros, how you doing? Good to see you.
During the propellant loading, the flight crew will wake up at about 9:45 tomorrow morning. They'll have breakfast and start working towards their preparations for launch day, getting their suits on and doing all the other work that they have to get ready to head out to the pad. And then once we get to all stages replenish, which is a little after almost 1:15 in the afternoon tomorrow, we'll send a closeout crew to the pad. All stages replenish is when we're done tanking, essentially. We filled all the propellant onto the core stage and the upper stage ICPS. And at that point, we're only
I don't know, Mazzaros, probably not.
Boiling off.
I'm guessing something easily digestible.
We do lose quite a bit of propellant during that time frame, and so we will continue to just work that throughout. After that, we'll send a flight crew to the pad. They're going to head out a little before 2 o'clock. And to get into the spacecraft, as I mentioned, the closeout crew is going to go out before them, so they'll have been working that time to prepare the capsule for the flight crew arrival. And then the flight crew will get out there, and then they'll work in the insertion portion, in which we're going to strap the flight crew members into the seats of Orion. And after that, we'll do the final closeouts in the crew module. We'll close the hatches. There's some pressurization checks we do and some other things and at the end, and then we'll clear the white room and then get ready to get into terminal count. Our closeout crew clears the white room at about 5:30 tomorrow night. It's almost an hour before launch. That's our plan time. After that point, we'll finish the rest of the work and configurations that we can do remotely, and then, excuse me, we'll proceed into the launch team poll, and then after that, the launch director will perform her management poll, and then we'll get in a terminal count for the last 10 minutes of launch countdown. So that's essentially the work ahead of us, and I would say that our team has been working amazingly hard through these weeks and months trying to get this vehicle ready to where it is. We've had some challenges. The team has done an outstanding job managing each and every one of those throughout all of this, through many different scenarios, through weather, through lots of different things that we've had to work through to try to get through all of this and get to where we are today. People are excited and ready to go on this, this first chapter on our way back to the moon since the 1970s. So we're very excited. So, Mark, over to you.
I think he's probably a bit nervous, Darrell. It might not be his natural environment in the press thing. NTK Gaming, how you doing? Good to see you. He needs a glass of water. He does need a glass of water. He's got a frog in his throat. He's probably exhausted, though. He's probably been up for like a week straight.
Right. Thank you, Jeff. Good afternoon, everybody. So amazing times. It's great to be here at this point. And, of course, weather has been a nuanced thing for us at times here in the generation phase of this mission. But, again, look outside right now. Great weather. Hopefully we will keep
Real
all
muscles
of that,
run exactly,
although
yeah.
the breezes continue to be an issue for us, but a minor
I mean, he probably took some crap at school, I'm guessing.
one for us in terms of weather. If we could pull up the satellite imagery here, you can see.
You know, I
currently-
apologize, guys. I should have put the, I should have the subtitles on. I don't want the comments. Sorry, I didn't have the subtitles on for you guys, I don't think, did I? Or did I?
But we're looking at another
course.
beautiful day here in Florida. See a few cumulus clouds
help with the
moving
fast
from the
talking.
east
Sorry.
side of the state towards the west. That is our onshore flow that we've had really the most for the last 2 weeks or so. And a few of those cumulus clouds could evolve later today into a few showers, much like what we saw yesterday
I'm a
evening.
fast talker. I don't
And
think
again,
about
that's
it.
going to be one of the watch items for weather as we go into tomorrow and tomorrow afternoon as well. Let's take a look at some of the overview slides here just to kind of give you a synopsis of what we're looking at here. So the breezy weather does continue. Again,
do the astronauts need to do much? Seems everything has been planned or automated. I mean, yes, but at the same time, if the things go wrong, it's kind of when... If everything goes according to plan, it's probably fairly straightforward. If the shit hits the fan, then...
Artemis is a very resilient
Moist
vehicle.
and
so
breezy. That's a bet, right? Somebody bet him that he couldn't get the word moist in.
Despite the breezes, it looks like that concern is a minimal concern for our day of launch. Lightning risk with any sort of showers that we have is quite low, generally only on the order of 5 to 10%, and that would be generally during the late afternoon, and any of that activity pushes towards Orlando after that. So again, it leaves us in a better spot here for our launch opportunity.
Wait, what's this?
We take a little bit look at what else could potentially be of an impact. You may have heard about the sun. It's become a little bit more active. Here over the last day, we've had a solar flare erupt, but again, no or minimal impact for us out of that, as most of the energy is not earthward facing. So again, we continue to look good in that department as well. We look towards backup opportunities. So for whatever reason, if we can't utilize tomorrow, the weather, of course, is a changeable entity, and we do have a tendency to move towards somewhat less favorable through the rest of the week. It isn't a huge drop-off, but again, kind of a little bit more of a situation where we'll have to monitor those feisty cumulus clouds. And
Feisty cumulus clouds. Wow, the weather is much more interesting than I thought.
Potentially a few showers and breezes as well. So we go to the next slide, please. And again, I just wanted to bring this up real quickly with the sun. So this was an image here from this morning. Again, the area that's circled on the solar disk, that is the area that we were watching that produced a solar flare yesterday. Again, it's directed most of its energy away from the Earth, and in fact, there's been no response in terms of the particular particles that we look at that could influence the launch vehicle. And so by this point, or within the next couple of hours, if we don't get a response at all from our satellite data, then that threat will have waned as well. We'll still have to watch that sunspot group, however, because
Alex
it is
Vixen,
rotating
welcome in. Good to
off
see you. How you
towards
doing?
the center of the solar.
Nice to see you. We're just watching a press conference ahead of the Artemis launch. This is from earlier today. What a Fantastic Four. I mean, you could get Fantastic Four. This could be it. This could be the launch that changes the you know. We have the right crew makeup as well. How you doing, Alex Vixen? Good to see you.
Disk. So again, this flare not a concern, but should there be additional ones, that will be something that we'll have to monitor a bit. But again, at the current time, I see no issues in terms of our launch capability for that. Next slide, please. All right, and taking a look at our cross section. So we meteorologists like to look at the atmosphere not only on maps, but we also like to look at what's happening through the depth of the atmosphere and with time. So here at Kennedy Space Center on this graph, you can see the metrics there, altitude there, going up into the atmosphere basically to the level of what a jet aircraft would fly. And then in time, we go from left to right from today through the weekend, including our launch opportunities. So the green on this map, which pops out here, is just a moisture profile. It doesn't necessarily mean rain. It just means that there's a little bit more of a predisposition for more clouds.
Business
and
Daddy,
rain.
welcome in. How you
also
doing?
see the winds on there. Those are the black lines that are there with the little bar.
Can we later talk about solar telescopes like the one in Big Bear, since we were talking? We're not really talking about the sun. We could talk about it on another stream though. Yeah, Mazar rules. Definitely. Definitely. We're actually going to have our own solar telescope here on stream in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. That'll be exciting as well. 3 men and 1 woman, it would work, right? Oh, I just want to say, I get yelled at today, by the way, on YouTube, in the YouTube comments. If you haven't checked out the video, I made a video of about Artemis. Like, is it worth the money? Like, we're going to spend $100 billion on this thing, and that's before we even get to the moon. And it wasn't, I didn't really have an opinion. I just presented the facts. I'm like, this is the deal. This is what else we could do with the money. What do you guys think? I did a little bit at the beginning of the video where I was just like saying what the mission was going to do. And then I basically said that it was going to be the first person of color to leave low Earth orbit, the first woman, and the first Canadian. And someone on YouTube, because this is on YouTube, like, why did you have to bring race into this? Like, come on, man. This, you could have just said there was a, like, what do they have? Here's what I want to know. Why did they not like Canadians? Why was me bringing up Canadians? Why was there anything wrong with me bringing up Canadians? Canadians in the audience, maybe you can, do you feel like I did anything wrong there? Oh, I think I did say non-American. Maybe I should have been more specific. Is that not the right phrase? Maybe that's not the right phrase. Obvious. Yeah, true. Oh, well, thanks. All right, I just wanted to sanity check to make sure it wasn't me. I
On the
thought
end
it was
of them,
fine,
that gives
but
us an indication of wind speed. So
like it's
right now we're out of the east.
it's an achievement, right? It's like
generally remain in that direction.
It's
we
a
might
benchmark,
come back
or
a
not
little
a
bit more to
benchmark.
easterly winds as we go, but generally speeds in the
It seems like an
15
achievement
to
to me.
20
They should be
knot
celebrated,
range,
but
which
whatever.
again does not violate any of our liftoff weather constraints there. You do see superimposed on there the various launch opportunities, including tomorrow as a primary window, and then the next 3 days. So you do see a day-to-day fluctuation with that moisture content. On any given day, we'll likely get a few showers.
Like Nick Baring. Okay, you're your own country for now. For now. For now. Thought was a clickbait, so hopefully good for numbers. Clickbait? How dare you? I would never. I would never.
develop off of that. But again, with the onshore flow, most of those showers with the sea breeze each day, which tend to be the more vigorous showers, will move off towards Orlando. You do see towards the end of this chart, so going into the weekend and beyond, a much more massive
this is the weather guy's
amount
big
of
moment.
moisture, the green there. And did want to point that out because this is just but one model at one time, and there has been a fair amount of inconsistency to how that moisture evolves. So it's just pretty strong hints that we will see an increasingly unfavorable environment as we get beyond this weekend and maybe late in.
Is it too late to refund our ticket? The long term cost might be too high. I mean, that was the only thing about the video. I was kind of like, after I made it, I was like, well, it's kind of a moot point because we've already spent the money. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, you can have an opinion, but we can't change anything now. We've already spent $95 billion. So
into the weekend. But again, I wanted to point that out because some of the charts I'm going to show utilizing another model.
Oh, there's more weather
gives you an idea
charts?
of the battle that us meteorologists follow every day with trying to assess the uncertainty component of the atmosphere. So next slide, please. All right, so this is for tomorrow.
This was a bit, so you had to be a little bit careful. When you had really technical people at JPL that you brought into a presentation to present, sometimes they would get a little detail oriented and you would have to like be like, we were thinking more like 4 or 5 slides, not 78 slides on the MOSFET or whatever. Like,
Tomorrow, again, the green blotches here.
I feel like there's a little bit of that going on here.
You can see still an onshore flow. You do see a little bit of green to the west of us. Again, that would be sea breeze driven activity that has moved off towards the west during the late day hours. But still, if you squint hard enough, you can see a few green blotches lurking in the Atlantic waters.
We sweat
again,
hard enough?
much like yesterday evening, if you were out and about, a few showers rolled in. That is certainly a possibility for us, again, for tomorrow evening. Next slide, please.
Oh,
we are now in range, though, of some of our more high-resolution model guidance. So this indicates 2 different models that we look at here for the opening of our launch window for tomorrow evening. You can see some of them showing a few blotches of showers offshore, particularly the
That's a very good idea, you
the right is mostly clear for us and has more of the showers, again, to the west of us. And again, in this pattern with an onshore flow, any showers that we have will move from east to west there. So again, it looks pretty good. Even if we have showers around, we have a 2-hour launch window, we should be able to shoot the gap between those showers, and none of these.
Not if you paid us $1 million each, Miss Adventures, could we?
Look particularly vigorous. Again, as I mentioned, the risk for lightning, which would expand our standoff distances as far as us launching a vehicle, looks pretty minimal for that threat for tomorrow.
Must be a pretty cool job, though.
Next slide, please. So putting
I wonder if this is like a full-time job or if
here,
this is
still maintaining a 20% chance of a no-go condition.
Probably is, right? Because they have plenty of launches.
The optimistic side of me.
Probably his job is just to predict the weather for the launch site,
isolated showers wandering around, but again, a lot of real estate between those showers in all likelihood.
Oh my God, Business Daddy. See, Steph LRX, you thought my intro was clickbaity, click-treaty. Look at that. This one crazy trick scientists don't want you to know. And then you need the picture of like you need the surprise look on the face, and like, yeah, it's perfect. Perfect.
So again, we should.
I have to get you to write my titles, Business Daddy.
To launch Artemis 2. Again, there's those winds out of the east-southeast, 15 to 20 knots, mild temperatures there,
and a big red area. Yeah, exactly.
Concerns from the weather standpoint here, cumulus cloud, and then winds would be a secondary threat, and then a much more distant threat would be solar weather. Again, the current flare, not a concern.
Hey, what's happening? The text
ones that form on
signs,
the sun, would have
I probably butchered that, but maybe
so let's
just
go
text.
into the
good?
Next day for our
Thursday.
There you go. Again, pretty similar pattern, still onshore flow.
Oh man, with the mushroom cloud coming
windier. Again, so that is
man, you guys are good. I should actually crowdsource my thumbnails and my stream titles. How you doing, Tex? Good to see you. And we're just watching a press conference from earlier today for the pre-Artemis launch stuff. This is the weather guy telling us, I think everything's going to be fine, but we're just trying to get to the bottom of it. True, the climate station I maintain reports every 5 minutes. I couldn't change the data if I tried. Yeah. Hope their weather sources are better than yours. They're probably not. Alternating red text and black text on yellow highlighting in the thumbnail. Jeez, You guys are good. You guys are too
Green, at
good.
least
I don't know
in
why
the
I'm bothering.
area. So again, I do suspect that a Thursday evening attempt would have a little bit more weather to deal with. So a POV of roughly 40% is what I'd be advertising for a Thursday evening launch attempt.
That's what he's
Very
advertising?
similar concerns with the cumulus clouds.
Hopefully he's
and
getting more
winds as well.
paid more for his
And then
advertising than I get paid
next
on
day,
Twitch.
going into our Friday to close out the work week here. Again, you see very similar pattern. Winds still in that roughly 15 to 20 knot range and easterly or southeasterly, and still some green blotches out over the ocean. So again, that's a hint that there'll still be enough moisture to generate some showers. But there does again look to be more breaks in that weather for Friday. So POV would go back down to 25%. So roughly in the same ballpark as tomorrow.
Friday weather's a bit
for
more
Friday,
predictable, yeah.
tomorrow still looks to be probably the most optimum day of the lot. And then finally, going into the weekend for Saturday, again, this is what I pointed out on that cross section in my earlier slides, is that moisture fetch that was shown later in the weekend on that model, you can see it's a lot closer to home as we go into Saturday. It's actually spilling some.
Is a good hook. Excellent, Steph Rex. I've actually put a lot of work into the hooks recently. I've actually put a lot of work into the hooks to try and make them better. It seems to be increasing engagement for sure. So thank you. I'm glad it worked. That, and I've also found that putting text on the thumbnail, going into the mobile app and putting text on the thumbnail seems to really increase engagement as well. So I'm learning. It's only taken me 2.5 years to figure out what works.
That moisture in towards us. Again, this is probably the most aggressive model at that. So again, just part of that uncertainty component that we deal with when we have limited forward visibility going out a number of days. So all things considered, a Saturday evening launch attempt would definitely have to throttle the POV back up again to right now about 30% or close to 1 in 3 chance of a weather violation on that date. So tomorrow looks to be the best. Other days hit and miss, but still pretty good. There's nothing here that is screaming a no-go for the entirety of the window for any one of these attempts.
Thank you, Mark. We like to hear that. All right, we will now take it.
Essentially,
open
he
up
could
the
have
floor
just
to
said that and
questions here
everybody
in the
would have been
room
happy.
and also online. Just as a reminder to those joining us over the phone, you can press star
Mark's
1
just-
to
Mark's having the
submit a
time of his life.
question. All
Having the time
right,
of
we
his
will
life.
start with Bill Harwood.
Hey, Bill Harwood, CBS News. Jeff, good to see you back here again from your shuttle days. It's been a while. I think for Artemis 1, there was something like 42, 41 COLAs, collision avoidance cutouts. What's the story for Artemis 2? There's a lot more stuff up in low Earth orbit than there used to be. Thanks.
Yeah, there's quite a few more that we manage now, and part of that is how we're actually laying out the COLAs. We had combined a number of COLAs during Artemis 1 where there were small gaps in between them, and now we're showing all of the COLAs to give us more flexibility, if you will. Because when you have, when you combine those, it takes out larger chunks of time when you could have launched in one of those points between there. So if you had, say, 3 COLAs with a small period of time with it, and you combine them all, that takes out a larger chunk than leaving those gaps. And we're pretty good now during our trainings at being able to pick up the clock quickly and on the fly and hit those very narrow gaps that are in between all of these COLAs that we're dealing with now. So I think that it's definitely in our best interest to keep it where it is.
Big Gamey, how you doing? Good to see you guys. Make sure you
Right now
follow
we're
Big
at
Gamey.
156, and they assess that on a daily basis, so it could change it by a couple.
All right, we will go to Marcia Dunn.
Marcia Dunn, Associated Press. How much wiggle room do you have to either halt the countdown or deal with a solar flare that is a big one and comes out at you like during the once tanking begins? I just didn't know how much heads up
2
time
hours.
you need, and just sort of talk about that, please.
So we have launch commit criteria that are outlined for the solar weather, and those go down to T-minus 6 minutes. And so we would be evaluating those throughout. Mark and their team would be looking at those, and if there were an LCC violation, would call it back through the launch weather officer to the launch director. Mark, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add there, but
Yeah, I'll add a little bit. That's exactly right. And just to give you kind of a background, currently our satellite data from this most recent event that erupted yesterday, as far as the actual particles or protons that would potentially impact a
The
launch
lip sync
for
on
the
this, the
vehicle,
audio on this is like
we're
out of
running
sync
about
with the...
2 orders of magnitude below our constraint, and that's just barely above background levels. So again, we have a lot of time to see the response, and in fact, these particular particles, the protons, they are laggards. So if there's an eruption, we'll get the X-rays first. Those will be detected by satellite, and then the protons follow, and those are the ones that are a little bit more nuanced in terms of the actual ability to launch. You know, those are where the constraints are based. So we do have lead time for that.
Thank you both. We'll go to Jackie, right there in the last row.
Hi, thanks for doing this. A question for Jeff. We've been learning over the past few days that because of this larger hydrogen tank, there's more flexibility with recycling. But we also were told that if you have to hold or abort for weather or a technical issue after T-5 minutes, that you can't do a same-day recycle. I was wondering, can you walk us through that? Why is that T-5 minute mark significant? And we'd just love to hear more about what is and isn't possible during terminal count.
So the main driver in a recycle is the amount of time that you have, because a recycle does take a fair amount of time. For us, it's about 75 minutes. If we've gone all the way through from 6 down to about a minute and a half, or even down to 33 seconds, and we've been in that time frame, it can take us as much as 75 minutes. It takes less than that the closer we are to 6 minutes, because that's when we stop actually topping off the tanks at that point, and we shut everything off and it's boiling off. And so, but the 5-minute constraint, it's not really a constraint there for us as to whether we can or cannot. We can do a recycle as long as there's enough time in the launch window to perform it. We can do a recycle all the way down. The only constraint we have is if we get inside of T-33 seconds and we have a cutoff, then we're going to have to scrub for the day, because we can't recycle from after 33 seconds.
Oh, wonder why. Wonder if it has to do with the...
We'll go up front right here.
Yes, Bert Dicht from Ad Astra Magazine, National Space Society. We often hear that about 400,000 people were involved with the Apollo program, and certainly tens of thousands have been involved with Artemis. As we get ready to the launch, I just want to recognize the workforce and see what's their mood as I know they're focused in on their jobs, but how are they all feeling?
Well, the people that I get the pleasure to work with and talk with are extremely excited. We have a large mix of young and more seasoned people like myself, and as such, everybody understands the significance of this mission, and especially the flight crew. But the team that I get to work with, they come in every day, and people are concerned sometimes that we are working so hard towards these milestones and things. But there really isn't. People love coming to work. They love doing this job, and that's why they're here. And they work through it every single day to get us to this point. I think everybody understands what our mission is, and that's to get back to the moon, and we're going to establish a presence there in the very near future. And the fact that we've changed direction and been able to get some additional launches,
Casey,
really changed the calculus for a lot of people.
Yes, you're here on the right. Yes, yesterday was, yeah. It's all good. It's all good. I know how it is. Every day seems the same. We're on a treadmill. It's like it's Groundhog Day. Guys, make sure you're following Casey Snow, awesome streamer here on the platform, artiste extraordinaire. Amazing human. I got to meet Casey at TwitchCon. We got to do a beach cleanup together. We got to do all kinds of fun stuff.
As to what we were doing and how we were going to get there and the things that we're going to do. So I think there's a lot of excitement and fervor within all of the groups that are out there, but especially here at Kennedy, the folks that I see are very, very excited
space
to
yesterday.
Get on with this mission and get started with the next.
Well, we're going to be live tomorrow as well, Casey. So at noon, I'm going to be doing a collab with.
Thanks, Jeff. We are excited. All right,
I'm going to be doing a collab with Astro Canuck at noon. Astro Canuck is actually going to be live before that. But yeah, join us at noon tomorrow. We're going to be watching this launch. The actual launch is at 3:24 my time, noon PST. Launch is at 3:24 Pacific at 6:24 Eastern. Well, that's the plan.
We're going to take some questions over the phone. We have Ken Chang with the New York Times.
Thank you. This is from Mark. I was just wondering, when you say there's a 20% probability of violation, is that 20% for the entire 2-hour window, or is it 20% that there will be a red during the window? And if it's the latter, can you say what the chances are that there would be a launch opportunity? Thank you.
Yeah, good question. So again, the 20% just refers to the probability of having a violation during the launch window. That violation could last 5 minutes, it could last 30 minutes, it could last an hour. In this particular setup, I would imagine that if we get a violation, generally cumulus cloud would be the most likely candidate, probably in and out inside of about 30 minutes. And then again, as kind of the high resolution models hinted to and what the pattern supports, likely we would have additional opportunities within a 2-hour duration window.
Thank you. Next up, we have Christopher Mick with the Hudson Star Observer.
Thank you for the information today and for holding this briefing. I just wanted to ask a follow-up kind of on the weather hold question. I know you can't completely control that with where you are in the count, but I think you mentioned, Mark, in the 2-hour window, there's some bands of green that could potentially be coming through. Is an optimal situation? Could you kind of walk us through? Is that like holding at 10 minutes and then you're waiting for that band to move through and proceeding on from the 10-minute mark? Is it at 20 minutes? Is there kind of a, what are the opportunities for kind of being the best to hold at?
Sorry, well, let me see. Hold on. Space Noob here, white clouds. Lightning mostly. Moso. Yeah. Can trigger the spacecraft can actually trigger lightning when it goes through the clouds. Not typically not good. not ideal. So I think that's mostly what the that's mostly. There's also like wind shear and ice, stuff like that.
As far as the holds go, we have very prescribed holds as to where we can hold. Generally, if we have a weather constraint, we're going to hold it T-minus 10 minutes. We won't pick up the clock from there generally if we have a weather constraint. If we are counting within between 10 and 6 minutes, we can hold at 6. We can hold there for quite a while, actually, through the remainder of the launch window if there is a violation that occurs between 10 and 6 of any of our weather LCCs. So we can sit there for a while. If we pick up a weather constraint inside of T-minus 6 and counting, if it's something that's most likely, if we're going to have a constraint, we're probably not going to get it in a very short period of time. So we'll have to do a recycle and then come back and see if the weather's going to be good on the other side of that. But we have very prescribed hold points and where we can, stop and then pick up the clock again as required.
Thank you. We'll now take questions back here in the room. We have one here right up front with this gentleman over here.
Hi, good afternoon. Tom Costello with NBC News. As you are now back on the pad, and of course in February you dealt with the issues on the wet dress and
it's
the
a
tanking
tight
issues.
window because of where they're trying to go.
What would be the earliest concerning signs you'll be watching for as you begin tanking tomorrow morning, assuming everything is going well, but you will clearly have your eyes very closely monitoring that tanking progress? What will you be closely watching for that there could be signs of trouble?
The first thing we would probably be looking at is a recurrence of these events that happened previously, right? So once we get in a fast fill on hydrogen, that is where we had the previous issue where we had the leaks. We believe that we've solved those through, we've changed the seals out, we've done some testing, and so we feel pretty good about that. We went through a wet dress with that seal, so all of that says that we feel pretty good about all of that. But that's where we would generally be looking at, first of all, is right there at the beginning when we transition from slow fill to fast fill on the hydrogen side.
Yeah, collab tomorrow at noon. I'm starting at noon, so I'll be joining Astro Canuck stream at noon. He's going to be streaming for a while before that. He's going to be streaming for I think the whole of tanking. But yeah, noon Pacific. About 3.5 hours before launch, we'll be chatting and watching the NASA broadcast and talking about Artemis and all that cool stuff. And obviously, hopefully, 6:24 p.m. EST, we can watch the launch and watch the astronauts go to space. It should be pretty awesome.
Thanks. We'll take some more questions over here in the room. Let's go over to this side. We'll go right here up front as well.
Hi, Sawyer Rosenstein with NSF. We talked obviously about the weather here at the Cape and around the area, but what about abort weather criteria? Can you go into what that looks like for the coming days, and also how often are you measuring it? How are you measuring it as well?
Okay. Yeah, good question, and a complex one, actually. So the winds are obviously coming from onshore, and the whole point of, in case of an abort, is if we have to utilize that system, we do not want to have the Orion capsule land back on land. So there are particular thresholds, are really the component of the onshore wind that's exactly perpendicular to the coast. And so just getting a wind out of the east-southeast, the actual coastline is more oriented northeast. So we take only a fraction of that onshore component, which helps us out. Now, if the winds were starting to back, if we saw that indication on maybe one of the backup days that instead of them coming out of southeast, they were more northeasterly, we would unfortunately be exposed to a higher percentage of that onshore component. So we do look at it at a layer, not only at the ground, but all the way up through 4,800 feet. And to make that assessment, and it's an average speed through that layer, and we actually do have calculations to run that. But the decision point is actually from a balloon that is launched at L-minus 3 hours and 10 minutes. We'll be providing the launch director already with assessments of the forecast well before then. But that L-minus 3 hour and 10-minute balloon is really where we'll report the hardline data as to whether or not that component that is onshore northeasterly is actually in violation of the magnitude constraint of that. And then at that point, if that were to be the case, then we'd be continually advising the LD about what our expectations are. Subsequent balloons will be launched and will also give us a read for that. In addition to balloons, we also have the 915 megahertz sounders that we have, which also give us real-time assessments of what the wind direction and magnitude is. So we have a number of ways to address this. So even if we were to proceed deeper into the countdown, weather, of course, changes. And so the forecast component plus the actual hardcore balloon data and the sounding data gives us that ability to make a forecast and provide numbers. So it's possible at one point in the countdown we could be technically unacceptable for that low-level wind abort constraint, but then evolve to be acceptable or vice versa.
Thank you, Mark. We'll go ahead and take then the person right behind him.
Tim Dodd, Everyday Astronaut. Can you give us a quick little refresher on if we do go through an entire launch window tomorrow, and we might be holding for weather or whatever, we do have a 24-hour reset, recycle capability for Thursday. Is that correct? And/or if that's not correct, what does the return around look like? And if we do burn up a 24-hour recycle, what then are we at? 48 hours for the next attempt? Can you just run me through the full reset situation?
Sure. And we generally would refer that as more of a scrub than a recycle, because our recycle is that time that we have a second attempt. But for our scrub plan, we have opportunities. Right now we're set up for 48 and 24-hour capabilities throughout. We have 4 launch attempts available to us in 6 days, and we'll take a combination of that. As mentioned yesterday, our launch director mentioned our sort of baseline or preferred method is to do a 48, then into 24, and then followed by 48, and that to set us up for LOX tankers. But there are a lot of other factors that come into that if, in fact, we have weather or other types of things that may say that second, if you wait 48 hours, those aren't good dates. So there's a whole lot of factors that come in to that evaluation when we determine the date. We set up for dates, and then we adjust as we need to based on what happened during that kicked us out for the scrub or any other types of things. So, but we have capabilities for 4 attempts in 6 days, and I need to have a couple of 48-hour scrubs in there so that I can take tankers for the liquid oxygen system.
Thanks. We'll now go to the other side. We'll go right up there.
Hi, Robert Perlman with CollectSpace.com. There's a long history dating back to the Apollo era guys of pulling pranks on launch day with the launch team and with the launch team pulling pranks on the flight crew. And given that tomorrow is April 1st, I was wondering,
how you doing that?
Maybe without spoiling anything, if there's been any talk about that, or whether there's actually been a decision to not do that and stay away from that.
So I am not aware of any pranks that anybody intends to pull on the flight crew or in the launch team itself. So I think I'll just leave it at that. But I'm not aware of any, and I'm hoping that we just stay focused on the launch tomorrow. So that's our plan.
Good answer.
Good plan. All right, we'll go to Ken Kramer over here. Oh, or to that gentleman instead. We'll get you next.
Hi, Jeff Faust of Space News. For Mark, if there is another CME, solar event of some kind, how much time do you need between when it's detected to provide sort of the all clear or say that it is in fact in violation of conditions?
I'll tell you that it really, solar forecasting makes terrestrial forecasting look easy. So, of course, the sun is, an entity that has almost a mind of its own. But the first initial indication is a surge in X-rays that arrive roughly 8 minutes after the event. But the protons, which are one of the constraints for launch, those lag some time. It could be in the order of a number of minutes to hours, and then potentially any sort of additional flare, of course, we'd be watching real time on satellite data. So sometimes those are pretty quick fuse or quick turnaround events, but oftentimes in this kind of situation, the spike would happen pretty gradually. So you'd see an uptick in those protons, and then eventually that would be a precursor to a more concerning surge. But again, right now we're hovering right around background levels, and it takes actually quite a bit of energy directed towards the Earth for us to even get close to those constraints. And right now where that sunspot group is, it's still kind of out on the limb. Talking to the experts at NOAA's Space Weather Prediction Center this morning, they're going to monitor this and forecast this, so they're definitely more in that lane than I am. They also see kind of about a 55% chance that we would get an M-class flare over the next 48 hours. That's a lower level flare. Again, probably not a concern at all.
Giorgio, how you doing?
And a 10% chance over the next 48 hours of an additional X-class. But again, that doesn't say anything of how that energy is directed, which at this point, that energy will have a preference to not be directed towards Earth. In a few days' time from now, if we were to get another flare from that sunspot group as it rotates towards the center of the solar disk, that would be something that would predispose us to getting a little bit more of that energy as far as whether or not
he's in his chariot. He'll be back in 24 hours. Okay?
That's still a pretty high bar to reach.
Thank you. We'll now go up front right over here.
Hi, thank you for doing this. Ken Kramer, Space Up Close for Jeff. Tell me, I'm very interested to know about the LOX and the hydrogen testing that you're doing. You mentioned you're doing a little bit, I think. Can you go into some detail? What are you doing to ensure the best possible outcome so that we don't have any leaks, especially of hydrogen?
Well, that was essentially the purpose of, excuse me, our WDR2 as we went through that. And then likewise, we had done it. Yeah, out of the pad. When we're back, we do a number of different leak tests and pressurization tests and decay checks and those types of things throughout the system. We do more of those when we get to the pad. After we hook up the systems at the pad, we test the system from end to end for the same types of things. As far as on the liquid oxygen or system and on a liquid hydrogen system, both, we do what we call dew points, meaning we purge those to the point where we want to make sure that we have no moisture in the lines or at an extremely low level so that you don't have potential icing in the system. So we do all of these different things to make sure that the system is going to behave in the way we expect it to on launch day, and we've accomplished all of that to date, so we should be good.
Thank you. We'll now take some questions over the phone. We have TJ Mascara with the Epoch Times.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for taking the time. My question's for Mark. Can you please give a bit of a refresh about the cloud violations and the concerns behind them?
Oh, there you go. He's going to answer your cloud question
indeed.
for you.
So Cumulus Cloud, which is the one that we're talking about here, and that's one of the Lightning Launch Commit criteria, that's actually the most commonly violated here on the east coast of Florida any time of year. Again, you walk outside most days, you'll see a puffy, what looks like a cotton ball out there. If that cotton ball gets more agitated and it grows throughout the depth of the atmosphere, that's when it starts triggering our so-called standoff distances that could cause an issue for launch. So as long as they're shallow and flat, not an issue to fly right through them. But they get up to certain levels of altitude, it could be as much as a 10-mile standoff distance between the rocket on its flight path or the launch pad and the edge of that cloud. And so, again, they have to get quite vigorous. They don't even have to produce, though, lightning to get necessarily at that 10-mile standoff distance. For the launch date coming up, I don't foresee any of the cumulus getting that high into the atmosphere or that cold, which would trigger that much real estate being blocked off for us. But we could certainly have fly-through considerations, which means we can't launch the rocket directly into the cumulus cloud, or possibly even as far as 5 miles from it, just given how the atmosphere profile looks like. The depth of moisture is pretty shallow, even though it feels really humid out there. So again, that helps us in that consideration. But I'll also point out that just looking at our overall climatology here on the Eastern Range. So almost 1 out of 4 launches over the course of the year.
The Apollo 12. We were just talking about Apollo. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Mitchell. So we were just talking about Apollo 12.
Doesn't mean the launch scrubs, but again, it's a pretty common occurrence. Scrub would be a lot lower percentage than that. So again, that kind of speaks to the transitory nature of these clouds. You get a 2-hour launch window, they could be in the flight path and then just as soon be right out of it.
Thank you. We'll now go back to the room, and we'll take it in the second row here to this lady right there.
Nicole Mortillero, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. Going back to the X flares, I know that there's a radiation shielding test that will be done on this mission. Can you talk about what that radiation shielding is and how it works? And if you needed to do it, let's say, day after tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go. Canadians in the house.
Would they be able to do that? Hey, Philinox, welcome in.
Good to see you.
Go ahead and defer that to Jeff or.
Yeah, the crew has the ability, and we anticipate that if there are, in fact.
Oh, shoot. Ads. I missed the ads. Rats. All right, guys. Do you like the shirt? Yeah. Good, right? Guys, 3 minutes of ads. I'll be right back. Sorry, I was so engrossed in the video. I missed the. We have awesome new images of our newest interstellar visitor comet, 3I Atlas. Comet Atlas rounded the sun recently and is now making its way out of the solar system. Due to its orbit, we can still look forward to its closest approach to Earth on December the 19th, and there are opportunities for citizen scientist observations of the comet on that date. I'll put a link in the description to that project. After the comet recently emerged from behind the sun, from the perspective of observers on Earth, scientists at the Gemini North Observatory on Mauna Kea in Hawaii were able to capture new images of 3I Atlas, only the third interstellar visitor to our solar system to be recorded. In the image, you can see the background stars form a colorful trail of dots as the telescope remains focused on the comet, taking images with red, blue, green, and orange filters. The comet is much closer to us than the background stars, so we keep the comet fixed. The background stars appear to move, exactly the same thing you see when the moon is moving across the sky each night. The images show some interesting changes in the appearance of the comet. As the comet gets closer to the sun and receives the maximum heating that it will experience in our solar system, we do expect to see changes in the gases and elements that are being released. Sometimes there can even be a delay between when this maximum heating occurs and when we observe the biggest changes, because it can take time for the heat to affect the deeper parts of the comet. Previous images from the Gemini South Observatory had shown a red hue to the comet using the same color filters as we used here. Now the comet appears to have a faint green glow. That heating that we talked about earlier is releasing different compounds from the comet, and we're seeing diatomic carbon, or C2, emitting light at green wavelengths. This is a super cool image, and given how unpredictable comets can be after being heated by the sun, it'll be interesting to see how 3I Atlas continues to change as it journeys out of our solar system. Hope you enjoyed that quick 3I Atlas update. This is my 499th YouTube video on the channel. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Check back on Monday for number 500. Wednesday at 6:24 p.m. EDT, 4 astronauts will launch towards the moon for the first time in 52 years. Whoa, Philinox, you got a good ad? You got a good ad? Find some new storage space? I love that. Guys, make sure you're following Freshie as well. I know you want to. I know not everyone's back from ads yet, but... does that mean you're buying? Are you buying Philinox? Aren't drives like super expensive right now? Astro Canuck. Guys, make sure you're following Astro Canuck and make sure you go join Astro Canuck. He is going to be live tomorrow. What time are you going live, Astro Canuck? Tell us the actual time. I know it's early. At the start of tanking, basically. And yeah, then I'll be joining Astro Canuck at noon my time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Astro Canuck's going live at 7 a.m. So Astro Canuck is going to have been streaming for 8 hours by the time I deign to join him. And then we'll have another 3.5 hours before the launch. So it's going to be good too. Thousands of ads served, one that interested you. They've won, Phil and Ux. They've actually won. Victory. It's victory for the advertisers. That's all they've been trying to do all this time. Is catch you with one ad that interested you. All right, guys, welcome back from the ads. Thank you for hanging out. I know they're annoying. Casey Snowart did something funny on her stream today. She said that we'd have a minute's silence for all the people who had left in the ad break, and I thought that was actually pretty true. It is true. Okay, so we're just gonna finish out this
from radiation on orbit. They have contingency plans for that. They're going to practice some of that during the mission. As far as where they go into the vehicle and those types of things, there's some space in there that they can actually move into in the vehicle that will provide an additional shielding of the components of the ship itself, which provide the shielding inside of the areas in which they would be able to get to. They also would potentially move some of the equipment near to some of by the windows and some of the other things as they do that.
Exactly.
There's a protocol that they have for that, and I'm not probably the most versed person on it, but that's the part that I can tell you of some of the things that they have that are capability-wise that they can do on orbit when there are any of these types of events.
Thanks, Jeff, and we can get you some more info if you have additional follow-ups. We'll go to the gentleman right next to her.
Thank you very much. Tarek Malik for Space.com. I think for Jeff, you just mentioned the need for focus and whatnot.
Race Fire, welcome in. Good to see you. How you doing?
Coming up. But by all accounts, it sounds like this has been a very smooth and continual run-up to the launch. And I'm just curious how you are ensuring that the team continues that vigilance in what has been a very...
It's 20 hours, dude. I think that'll be fine.
Quiet countdown.
I would say that I wouldn't necessarily characterize that because it's quiet that we're not still doing the same amount of rigor out in the field. We're just finding less things now than we had previously. I think at times you get to a point where you have found and corrected as many things as maybe are available to you, and so the things that we find now are quite small and much less significant than we had in the past. So I hope that's a really good sign, but we still have the same amount of vigilance. We have the same procedures, the same people doing the same type of events throughout 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we've been working up to this. And so we are still in the same posture, regardless of whether maybe it looks like it's quiet. People are still putting in the same amount of effort and working towards, because again, they know the significance of the mission and the people that we're flying on it, and that they're going to do the right thing and make sure that we're safe to do so.
Thank you. We'll go over to then the third row. We'll go to the gentleman there in the middle.
About 10, 15.
Thanks so much. Mike Meadberg, Wall Street Journal. Jeff, kind of related to what Tarek just asked. It's been more than 3 years since Artemis 1. Have you observed kind of in this process any jitters on different teams, any rustiness getting out there as the real thing unfolds? Yeah, thank you.
We've been training since Artemis 1 for this time, right? But we've also had to modify a lot of our procedures, hardware, equipment, training, and other things to get to where we are. So as we've worked through that, it has been a building process for sure. We've seen that just in working through the WDRs, and the number of items that we've picked up each time has continuously gone down when we got through the countdown demonstration test and the WDR2. And so, again, I would say if anything, we're learning, we're getting better, we're in the ability for us to improve our procedures is at a point where I think we're at a really good state now, and almost at a steady state to where we're where we need to be certainly for this mission, and we'll continue to improve that. Artemis 3 is going to be a slightly different mission, but we're already working towards that. We got a lot of folks that are engaged in Artemis 3, and we're taking what we've learned from Artemis 2 and going to be applying it, and that'll be another challenge too as we work towards that.
Thank you. We'll go then to the gentleman in that same row at the far end.
Charles Fulco, Westchester County, producing the Solar System Ambassador. I remember the Apollo 12 launch very well and what happened. Is there a concern that the booster might lose its guidance if there's a similar lightning strike,
That's why
or
we
the
just put
spacecraft
clouds.
might lose its platform?
Oh,
like
big
what
Amy,
happened in Apollo 12? And if
8623.
so, what are some accommodations for that?
So I would say for what we
SCE to
try
Oaks, that's
do,
all you need to know.
before we would
As somebody
launch,
already
because
said.
again, we create a lot of launch commit criteria to avoid that very circumstance, right? A lot of things came out of that event which have led us to where we are today for all of these requirements that we have, both on the range and for vehicle requirements and those other types of things that Mark can speak to, I'm sure, very, very eloquently. But our systems and our vehicles are very robust. We have
gotta dig out my
redundancy and
Artemis pin,
capability throughout.
actually. That's my
If there
Artemis
were
pin.
any type of event that we needed to work through, it's really hard to gauge exactly what that would mean. But all of our systems are hardened against various events. They have to fly in space, many of these, right, where we have to worry about solar events and other types of high energy events. So the vehicle is as robust, I think, as it needs to be, and we have a number of systems and robustness in it by having redundancy to allow us to weather many types of different things. And I don't know if you want to talk about the criteria and what's changed or not, but
2 years ago, I think.
Nothing to add, really.
Really?
You said it well.
Okay.
It didn't come this year.
Thank you both.
Shut down.
All right, we'll take then the one question there all the way in the back.
Hey,
Figure it
now
out for
Greenfield
tomorrow.
Voice with NPR. This is for Jeff. So you've been involved in a lot of shuttle launches, but this one could
Yeah,
be
it's
the
the
moon.
kind of
And
a lot
I'm
of the
just
same
wondering,
questions.
like, does it feel different for you? I mean, you look like you were probably a kid during the days of Apollo.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, would 10-year-old you have thought that you'd be involved in a moon launch like this? Do you think about that at all, or how does it actually feel? I mean, there's all the
That's a
things you
good
got to
question.
check off and do, but are you guys thinking about the moon? Have you been looking at the moon at night and thinking about that at all?
I'll just say from my personal experience, I have, right? I try to walk every day in the morning, and I look up at the moon quite regularly, thinking about this mission and the upcoming missions that are going to be coming right downstream. So I'm really excited about this. I'm excited going to the moon. I'm excited about establishing a presence there. It's something that I have had a desire for a great many years, and then to get humans back out to
Yeah, I gotta
Mars as
fix
well.
this.
That's
All right,
another
this
thing that
wasn't the right location.
fortunately, I had the ability to work on some of the studies that we did in the 90s on the Mars missions and things. And so I have been looking for human exploration of the solar system for a very long time. And it's part of the reason that I'm actually still here is to
There we go.
continue to put humans into space and to get us back into this launch mode that we are, so that we can continue to explore and establish a moon base, and then continue to work towards getting to Mars.
Thank you. We'll go to the other side. We'll go right here in the second row to the lady right there.
Hi, Brandy Campbell with Fox Weather. I have a
Could you ask Cap?
question
No, it's
about weather.
it's
for
a,
Mark. Just with your past
a muckress
experience
hat
with issuing
from,
these forecasts, when you
from
have a
Kalani
similar
in
forecast,
Ireland,
so
yeah.
we are dealing with that 20% chance of a weather violation.
Well, it's an Adidas
Do y'all
cap now,
normally
yeah.
get through that 2-hour window, or just the window, and have a successful launch? What have you experienced in the past?
Well, of course, the forecast is perfect, so it's a 1 in 5 chance of us getting a weather violation. If we look at all the data over time, it comes out to being pretty close. But again, each countdown is different. So sometimes there's 20% that end up being no-go the entirety of the launch window. There's others, and most of them don't have a violation. So pretty close to that 4 and 5 times. And again, in a pattern like this, where we have a moist onshore flow, I would be definitely thinking that we'll probably have showers around. Whether or not they get into the flight through path of the rocket, that's a wholly other story. We're good because this time of year and this pattern doesn't lead to a lot of robust thunderstorms, so that does help us. It also eliminates a lot of lightning launch commit criteria, so that works in our favor as well.
Thank you. We'll go over there to the gentleman in the blue shirt, the blue collar shirt.
Hi, Pedro Palota from Space Orbit Brazil. You talk a lot about the weather for launch, but I would like to know about the weather for splashdown, and if is there a chance to move the launch day due to a better weather for the splashdown. I know we are a lot of days for the splashdown, but the weather can improve or get worse. So I want to understand what is the backup scenario for that.
Do you want to talk the weather first?
Okay, yeah, I can speak a little bit to the weather. So we're not, at the 45th Weather Squadron, we're not specifically issuing a forecast for the ascent corridor or the Pacific here. We do have a team of
That's a good question,
forecasters that will be deployed out to the Pacific for the recovery. So they'll be watching that as well and assisting in all of that. But really for us here on day of launch, the only thing downrange that we're really looking at other than thunderstorms and the associated clouds and the lightning launch commit criteria would be what those low-level Orion abort winds would be on that corridor. We have colleagues out in Houston.
I mean, with all the problems broadcasting from the moon,
that are assessing risk profiles going out across the Atlantic on ascent far beyond the Cape. Jeff, I'll let you speak to the rest of it.
Yeah, and the flight team is part of that assessment that would be done on day of launch about the capabilities that we would have both for any kind of contingency landing on abort once around or any type of other event, and that folds into the launch day decision process as to whether we're going to make an attempt or not. We do have quite a bit of flexibility based on weather in the Pacific for those various scenarios. But that is essentially a launch day decision and would be part of the overall decision on whether we tank or whether we launch based on that weather criteria that coming out of the flight control team.
Thank you. We'll go to the gentleman there in the back, to Stephen Clark.
The Stephen Clark, yeah. So I am Stephen Clark with Ars Technica. Following up on that last question, have you heard anything from SMG about how the ascent corridor is looking? I know that's not within your responsibility, but what are you hearing about the downrange weather in the Atlantic? And also for Jeff, just want to make sure, I know the trajectory and the azimuth changes day to day. Does it actually change like minute to minute within the launch window, and how do you manage that, if so, with different conditions at different azimuths? Thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, the azimuth does change, minute by minute. Luckily, it's a fairly small slice, so that was something we dealt with Artemis 1 as well. That impacts us because, of course, from a radar and launch lightning commit criteria, that sort of thing, we have to use those trajectories to decide whether or not a cloud would actually pose a threat wherever it is during the actual countdown. What was the first part of your question, please, again?
Sure. Just what are you hearing from SMG about the ascent corridor?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Right now, weather appears to be very much go. The threat that I saw in the last was under 9% total along the total ascent corridor. So that's really good. And in fact, the other aspects show decent weather continuing through a lot of the launch period. So having high pressure set up across the North Atlantic this time of year works in our favor.
Thank you. We'll go over to Ada right there.
Hi. Is there a defining moment in the countdown when the reality sets that humans are returning to deep space, and how do you experience that as a leader in this mission?
So for me, once we get inside of 10 minutes and counting, that's where it starts, because we all on the launch team at that particular point know that it's become real for all of us. We also know that we all need to be prepared to do everything we can to continue through that or to take any action that would be required. But it really starts to get real for me when we're inside of 1 minute. And when we're inside of 1 minute, to me, I feel very confident and very hopeful that we're going to go. But that's the first time I think I ever actually think to myself that we really are going to make it that day, because I'm always thinking about what's going to not let us go. Right? Because that's part of my job, is to stop the clock if we need to. So when we get inside of 1, it doesn't mean that we're free, because that's really a dangerous time as well. But that's when it really starts to hit home that we really got a shot at making it today. And I know a lot of people are thinking the same thing, because you can hear a pin drop in that firing room as you count from 10 down to T0. And then after that, though, it may get a little bit noisier at some point. But
thank you. All right, we'll go back to the phone. We have Kenneth Chang with the New York Times again.
And Ken had hung up at this time.
All right. We will then take one more question here in the room.
All right, we've got 4 minutes left. We're almost done.
Your
with this.
question yet, sir?
I think it's been pretty interesting.
Dominic with the Globe and Mail. I wonder if you could just say something about the closeout of the capsule where backup crew members are going to be in the capsule. I think that's this evening, but could you clarify that part of the operation?
We have 2 time frames when we'll have the backup crew members, and we'll have 1 at each of the intervals. When we're doing the final closeouts of the capsule before tanking, we'll have one of our astronaut support personnel in there working final configurations for the crew, switch list, and a few other things at that point. And then on our actual closeout crew team, it's a 5-person team, we do have another backup crew member. Andre's on that one, and Jenny's on the first one. But he'll be on that team, and he is responsible. He's one of the 2 people. We also have an insertion technician, Bill does that work, that is responsible for strapping the flight.
Apollo 10 that this mission mirrors got into the record books with the fastest manned vehicle on record. I believe this will go faster, Ragefire. I don't remember the numbers, but I'm pretty sure it depends. It's going to be very similar, but I believe they're supposed to hit 25,000, and I think Apollo 10 is... Look it up. Here, let me look it up. 24,791 for Apollo 10. And I think it's 25,000. It's Mach 33. So we'll see. The furthest, I think, is definitely the furthest.
During that time frame and getting the crew module all set up at the very, very end. And then when they're done, they come outside. But he'll be inside of the capsule during that time. The flight crew insertion at the end takes about 30 minutes or so. Once the flight crew's there, they do a little work before that, so he'll be in there before that time frame as well. And at the very end, yeah, it's pretty good to watch what those guys are doing.
Thank you. I don't see any other hands in the room. All right. Well, then with that, we will wrap up today's briefing. Thank you to our panelists for taking the time to answer all of our questions, and to the media here in the room for asking your questions. Artemis 2 is scheduled to launch at 6:24 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow from Launch Pad 39B. That's the opening of a 2-hour launch window. You can watch our 24/7 live coverage beginning at 7:45 a.m. And you can, I think, see on your screen below how to watch nasa.gov/ways to watch. Thanks, and go Artemis.
Yep, go Artemis. Awesome, that was really good. It's very good. Here's the live view. Live view right now. See, it's a rocket on the launch pad. Very cool. And does anyone have any other Artemis-related questions? Because I think what I'm going to do... yeah, let's go. It's going to be so good. So, guys, tomorrow I'll be live at noon. Astronaut will be live before that. Yeah, I don't know what the beeping. I'll be live at noon. We are going to jump over to... I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to go get some sleep. And we're going to be back tomorrow at noon. Check out Astronaut B5 from 7 Eastern. You can go to Astronaut stream, and then we'll be collabing at noon. We will be collabing at noon. It's going to be an awesome collab. We're going to have so much fun, and we'll be watching all the way through launch, and then obviously after launch to the descent and all of that good stuff. And we're going to raid Shark Geek. So stick around, because we're going to raid Shark Geek. We haven't raided Shark Geek for a good while, but we're going to do it right now. Come with us on the raid. It's going to be an awesome raid. Shark Geek's amazing. He is a diver, a musician, and a shark conservationist. And it would be great to head over there with a nice big crowd.
You might be wondering why we're cutting this perfectly good guitar in half.
Wait, what's going on?
Well, it's for the same...
Okay. That was weird. Lurking from work? Yeah, I know that a lot of you won't be able to join during the middle of the day, and you're at work and all that stuff. But whoever can come, it'll be lovely to see you there. And it has been great fun to hang out with you tonight and do some cool stuff. There's your raid messages. Second set, if you are subbed. The first set, if you're not subbed. If you are subbed, thank you so much for all your support. Thank you to the moderators for keeping us safe. Thanks to E to the 2i Pi for the raid. Appreciate you all being here. Best of luck overnight. Hopefully we'll wake up in the morning and everything will be good with Artemis. I have a good feeling, but that doesn't really mean anything. So enjoy the raid out to Shark Geek. He's an awesome streamer. We got to do the beach cleanup together. We organized it together. And and don't forget to check out the YouTube. Check out that new video I posted just yesterday. And if you could watch those and like and subscribe and do all those things, that would be amazing. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I love you all. Peace. And I will see you tomorrow. It's obvious with a lot of mammals. Not so much with a shark. And I think that's just an unfortunate circumstance. Oh my goodness.